Well, if you can't get up for this one, check your pulse. Game 7 live from the Scotiabank Center coming up for you right now. Good evening, Moose Country. Thank you so much for joining us here for Dartmouth Dodge Mooseheads hockey. Gareth McDonald, former Moosehead Jesse Lucier here with you. And boy, we can't wait for puck drop here, Jesse.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Game 7, baby. This is what hockey's all about. Win and move on. Lose, pack your bags because you're going home. So long. And this is the most exciting time of sports. Game 7, I can't wait. I'm fired up. You know the players are fired up. The building's fired up. The whole city's buzzing. This is what you want to see. I can't wait.
Action underway. Samuel Asselin pulling that one all the way back into his own end off this opening draw. He's up front with Raphael Lavoie, Antoine Morin, Patty Kite, Justin Barron starting on the back end, and Alex Gravel between the pipes here for the Mooseheads. And the Patrick's chance starting early here. Dunn will flip one into the Mooseheads' end. Quickly banked off the glass and back to where the Rempart blue line. Kurashev will knock it back into his own zone for the Ep New Brunswick's Nicolas Savoie. Savoie back on it, takes a return feed from his partner, Sam Dunn. And Savoie up toward the red line. He'll chip this one in. Kite gives chase, banks it off the glass, but not out. Kicked up to his stick by Grouchy, and Laframboise slides it wide. Nifty little feed there from Grouchy. Point shot, and that's going to deflect toward the front of the Mooseheads net. Alex Gravel getting tested early here, just 47 seconds into period number 1.
Well, Matt Grouchy had a relatively quiet night last night. Doesn't take long to have his stamp on the game, and a nice little play and a nice little pass that just went wide, and a lucky bounce there for the Moose.
So a face-off now to Alex Gravel's right. Keith Getson out to take that one for Halifax, and he'll win it. Outlet pass up the left wing. Durando out through center, broken up there by Lacombe. And Pierre-Olivier Lacombe dumping this one back in for the Quebec Remparts. The Mooseheads trying to get it out. Lacombe holding the line. Dishes off to Cox. That shot. And Gravel with another big stop here in the early going. Just a minute 04 off the clock here in period number 1. Couple of shots for the Quebec Remparts already.
Yeah, and some line adjustments for the Remparts. And they put that line that was so dangerous here in Halifax in games 1 and 2 of Coxhead, Grouchy, and Laframboise. And another great opportunity. That's a great save by Gravel early on Coxhead, who comes right down the pipe and looks for that low glove shot. And good job by Gravel holding on to that one, not allowing a rebound.
So a face-off here to Gravel's left. Joel Bishop out there to take that one for the Mooseheads, and he's going to win it. Jake Reisig now rimming it up the board. Saffin trying to get that one out. Bishop will poke it up ahead out through center ice. Samuel Dubé, late scratch here tonight for the Mooseheads as the Remparts slide this one in. Cheney will flip it right back out. Now Perron chasing after it. Loose puck. Savoie getting the stick on it to break it up right there, but Perron quickly on it, sends it down the boards for Saffin, makes his way up the wall. He'll bank it back down low for Bishop, slides it wide toward the line for Reisig, lets it rip, and it's stopped by Carmen Anthony Pagliarula as the Mooseheads put their first shot on goal of this hockey game. And another good opportunity here in the early going.
Yep, a nice shot there. Good job getting it down low first time you enter the zone. And again, Bishop just tries to throw that one at the net. It misses and it goes wide. And Reisig doesn't waste any time putting that one towards the net. And that's why the Moose had a lot of success last night. Look for them to keep throwing pucks at the net.
Samuel Asselin in to take this draw, but it's going to be Kurashev winning. It pulls that one back. Etienne Verrette, the Rempart captain, sending it back down into the Moosehead zone. Justin Barron heads after it here, and that's an icing call. So we'll make our way right back down into that Quebec end for a draw. This one will be to Carmen Anthony Pagliarulo's right. The Rempart netminder coming into this game with a .309 goals against average and a .906 save percentage. Pulled early in Game 3 last night, Jesse.
Yeah,
period number 3, I should say.
Yeah, it was pulled early, and again, no surprise that they're going back with him. He's had a terrific series, and again, no surprise that Pagliarulo is in between the pipes for Quebec.
Dubé tried to play that one up the left wing for Dickner. That was out of his reach, couldn't find the handle on it. Now Kurashev on it, try to send a pass rink wide, but Antoine Morin breaking it up. He's going to force Kurashev back into his own end. Barrette, a pass up the middle, just misses Pierrick Dubé with that one. And another icing here to the Quebec Remparts with 2 minutes and 6 seconds off the clock here in Game 7. Winner moves on to round 2 of the 2019 President's Cup playoffs.
Yeah, very similar matchup to we saw last night. The Kurashev line, when they're on, Asselin, Lavoie, and Morin are on. So look for the 2 top lines of this team to have the impact of tonight.
Andrew Coxhead out to square off against Keith Gatson, and Coxhead has been good in the face-off circle in this series. The Fall River Dane at 56.2% as Grouchy will skate it in down the right wing, pulls up, tries to open up a lane. His pass hits the stick at Rondo, but Savoie keeping it in, snaps a shot. Gravel gets a piece of it. Big rebound there, but quickly pounced on by Durando. Will try to feed it up the middle for Trepanier, who couldn't settle it down. Walter Flower on this loose puck, dumps it in for the Mooseheads. Chouinard heads after it. Chouinard takes a bump down low from Durando, and both players go to the ice as Grouchy will skate it out through center. He's got the Mooseheads line, snaps a shot. It's off the skate of Jarrett McIsaac. Now Gatson up the middle for Trepanier. He'll make his way right down the center of the ice. Dropped it off for Gatson. His shot was blocked, and Grouchy now will try to skate it back for the Remparts. Reisig standing him up right there, and Reisig able to bump that one over for his partner, Jockton Cheney. Cheney slowing things down here just over 3 minutes in to period number one. Takes his time down behind Gravel up the left wing. Quick pass there from Perron to Sappin. Ostap Sappin lets a shot go. Bagliarulo reaching for it. Just got a piece of that one. There was a big rebound, and Luka Kavicius will flip this one back into the Mooseheads end. Jockton Cheney trying to play it back up the boards now for Ostap Sappin. Coach Eric Veilleux saying Sappin had his best game of the playoffs last night. Joel Bishop trying to throw his weight around down the Rempart corner as Perron jams on the brakes. Bouncing puck. Sappin on it toward the line for Barron. He'll rip one wide. Loose puck now. Montre trying to freeze it along the boards. Took a pretty good bump there from Joel Bishop. Bishop always a physical presence when he's on the ice. 16-12 to play here as the Quebec Remparts take their time with the back of their own end. Rodzinski, a pass up the left wing. That one just missing its target. Now Patty Kite on that loose puck, playing it up ahead here for Antoine Morin. Cross ice to Aslera, shot. Blocker stop, loose puck in front. Morin getting a piece of that rebound, trying to knock it toward the net. And the Rempart will clear it out through center, knocked down by Kite. Quickly up the right side. Justin Barron lets one go. It's wide. And a bouncing puck out through center, gathered up now by Kite. He'll play it up ahead. Quick little bump pass there from Antoine Morin, fails to connect, and Kite now back with it in his own end, sending it up the right wing boards. Good hustle right there. Good pressure from Antoine Morin, almost forcing a turnover. Now Barron up the boards. Antoine Morin taking a bump there, got knocked over by Verrett. 15-18 to play here in a scoreless opening period, game 7. Kurashev drops it off to Dubé. He'll wrist one wide of the net. Savoie keeping it in there at the left point. Sends it back down low. Bickner tripping up Walter Flowers. It's played up now for Lavoie. Lavoie had poked away from him by Kurashev, and the Remparts able to send it back into the Mooseheads end. Flower quickly over to McIsaac, and the Mooseheads chipping one in here with 14:51 to play in the first period.
Yeah, so back and forth now for the Mooseheads. They're really starting to hold on to that puck, and again, they're having some success again in that neutral zone.
Reisig over for his partner, Cheney. He's pressured down there by Coxhead. A pass back toward the line. Trepanier just getting a piece of that one as Grouchy trying to work it back for Chouinard. Lacombe, he'll drop it off for Chouinard. Chouinard up the left wing boards. Coxhead now with it out through center. Works it up for Grouchy. He's got Frateroli driving, and Grouchy's going to roll one in toward Gravel. Gravel covering it up with 14:21 to play here in a scoreless opening period. Shots all even, 3 apiece in the early stages of this one.
Well, that second line for the Quebec Remparts, just like they did in game 1 and 2, they're posing some problems right now for the Mooseheads. Coxhead and Grouchy had a relatively quiet game last night. They look like they came ready to play. Grouchy's holding on to that puck, a guy full of skill, and he looks dangerous so far in the early frame.
Samuel Asselin, and to take this face-off, Luka Kavicius, the best face-off man in this series so far, winning that one. Luka Kavicius, 59.8% in the face-off circle here through the first 6 games. San Laurent swinging it back down low now for Luka Kavicius, the former Windsor Spitfire, joined the Remparts back in early January. This one played out through center ice, and it's going to be dumped back in by Romain Rodzinski. McIsaac with it back in the Mooseheads end, playing it up ahead there for Toner, and it's going to chip that one in. Denny Toner trying back in the lineup here for the Mooseheads tonight after a terrific performance on the blue line last night coming into that game, as Jared McIsaac served his 1-game suspension. No score here, just over 6 minutes into period number 1. We're going to take a quick break. Live from the Scotiabank Center, Game 7 in downtown Halifax. You're listening to Dartmouth Dodge Mooseheads Hockey on News 95.7. Welcome back. You're listening to Dartmouth Dodge Mooseheads Hockey on News 95.7. Gareth McDonald, former Moosehead Jesse Lucier, back with you here live from the Scotiabank Center. We are scoreless. Samuel Aslan coming in to take this drop back to the point for Kite. He'll let one go. Pagliarulo trying to knock that one away. Now a turnover. Antoine Morin trying to hand it off here for Aslan for Lavoie. Quick centering feed toward the high slot. And Morin had it knocked away from us. Justin Barron will sweep it down low here for the Mooseheads. Aslan heads after it, battling down there with Sam Dunn. Rolling puck up the boards. Kite will pinch in down the left wing side, and good stick right there from Kite. Good bump from Morin as he knocks over Dubé. A shot wide of the net. Dickner will try to whack this out to center. Samuel Dickner with the only Quebec Remparts goal last night. Raphael Lavoie back in his own end. He's going to flip this one up ahead. Knocked back out there by Verrett. Now back the other way. Dubé coming with it. Takes a little hit there from Patty Kite as he sends it down toward the corner. Quickly gathered up by Barron. He'll set it up now for Bishop. Joel Bishop coming down the right side. Savoie's got him all tied up over there. Back here for Perron. He'll let one go. And Pagliarulo knocking it away. Jonathan Cheney pinches in down the left side. Now Savoie on it for the Rempart. He'll headman it for Laframboise. That one chipped into the Mooseheads end. Perron quickly playing it back out. Joel Bishop trying to corral it. He'll send it down the boards, rimming it in here with 12.5 minutes to play in the first period. Yeah,
Pretty easy going for both of these teams so far. Not a whole lot of risk taking, and again, that's to be expected in an elimination game.
Lacombe trying to dangle his way past Ryzik, who got a piece of him right there. Rolling puck down toward the corner of the Mooseheads back on it. Ostap Saffin slipping the check of Matthew Grouchy. Now Saffin lobbing one up the right side there for Durando. Cross ice to gets it a shot, and that was just up and over the net. Pagliarulo may have caught a piece of it with his glove. A terrific feed. Couple of pretty passes on that last sequence as the Rempart roll one in. Flower heads after it, kind of lost it in his skates momentarily, but he recovers. Arnaud Durando up the right wing. Trepanier dishes rink wide. Loose puck out at center. Sam Dunn on it now for Quebec. Dunn looking to hand it off now for Saint Laurent. His shot is wide back toward the point. Verrett over for his partner. Dunn lets a shot go. He scores. Sam Dunn from the point. A little bit of traffic in front of Gravel right there. He got that shot off quick. And the Quebec Remparts lead here 1-0 just over 9 minutes in to period number 1.
Yeah, a bit of a funny bounce there. Keith Getson looked to try to get in that shot lane, and it looked like it went off his leg and took a funny bounce right before Gravel made a save. And it looked like it might have hit off Getson. We'll have to take another look at that one. But, you know, just again, the Mooseheads have done it very well all series, that east-west on the blue line, and the Remparts, they do it very well. They go D to D, and just a simple shot at the net, and it goes in. All of a sudden, you're down 1-0. But again, no surprise here that Coach Veilleux, he's coming back with his top line, and he's going to immediately look. You got to have a short memory in these elimination games. And
it does look like they will be reviewing this one. They're going to check upstairs here. Yeah, we've had a lot of goals reviewed, a lot of goals called back in this series. I should correct myself on the time of this goal. That goal coming at 11:33, so just a little over 8 minutes into period number 1. But there is a review right now. They're going to check on this one. Not quite sure what it is. Could it have been potentially offside there at the blue line?
Yeah, it looks like the entry might be what they're reviewing to see if it was offside. And it seems that every goal we've seen has had some controversy around it, and last night with the review, it went into the Mooseheads' favor, and it was a big turning point of that game, and so we'll see what.
And that was a bit of a first here in this series because, as we said last night during the broadcast, a lot of fans here in Moose Country still had a pretty bitter taste in their mouths after that game 2 here a couple of weeks ago. A tough night for Mooseheads fans, tough night for Halifax. They ultimately fall in overtime in that game, but they had 2 goals called back in that matchup. They had another one called off on the road in Quebec City last week. So Mooseheads certainly facing some adversity. They've had a lot of calls in this series go against them. And last night, as we said, certainly a turning point. It looks like a decision has been made. So we'll see what the call is right now. There's a little discussion down there at the penalty box, and it does count. The officials pointing to center ice, so that goal will stand. The Quebec Remparts leading 1-0 here with 11:33 to play in the first period.
Well, it's Game 7, so you need to have a short memory. Close call there, but hey, listen, it doesn't matter. Quebec, or the Mooseheads, they've played from behind already in this series. You got to turn the page, and you got to get right back to what's giving you success.
The top line out here now for the Mooseheads. They were dynamite last night. Asselin between Morin and Lavoie. The Mooseheads chip this one in. Kurashev heading after it there. Takes a bump from Asselin. Lavoie on it. Plays it over for Morin toward the point. Justin Barron across the line to Kite. Kite snaps a shot. It's off his stick. And that one bouncing down toward the corner. Morin there for the Mooseheads. Morin trying to roll off of Savoie. Got tied up there. And Antoine Morin going down. Fans here wanting to call. They're not going to get it as it's knocked up the wall now for Dickner. He'll try to dish it off for Kurashev. Now Kurashev carrying it in over the Mooseheads line. Coming down that right wing. Kurashev protecting the puck. He's got Barron all over him. Centers out front. That's loose. Frateroli couldn't find the handle on his. Morin will dish off to Barron. Over now to Lavoie. Driving in down the right side. A shot. It's wide. Barron after it down there in the corner. He'll take a bump. Dunn trying to knock him off the puck as the Remparts working up those left wing boards. Hit the skate of Frateroli. He'll get a handle on it and dump that one in as he takes a hit from Justin Barron. 10:25 left here in this first period. 1-0 our score. The Quebec Remparts on top now. A turnover. Grouchy shoots. It's wide. What an opportunity right there for Matthew Grouchy, who's been one of the most dangerous players on this Quebec team during the postseason. Chouinard out through center. That puck will bounce over Frateroli's stick. A rolling puck out there. Skips free for Dunn. Dunn up toward the line, and he is leveled by Joel Bishop, who gets all of them right back in the way. Sappin comes. A shot right there. That was knocked away. Looked like the netminder Pagliarulo just got a piece of it as Ryzik lets one go. Pad stop by Pagliarulo. Now Cox head off the end boards. Loose puck. Flower pinching in. And Dunn's going to dish it off here for Rodzinski up through center. Montre trying to hand that one off. It's broken up by Durando. He'll work it back into the Mooseheads end. Ryzik up ahead here for Arnaud Durando. Rolls it down to where the corner and gives chase after it. He'll poke it over to where that open left wing corner down in the Quebec Remparts end. Nobody there for the Mooseheads as the Remparts send it up those left wing boards. A rolling puck back into the Halifax end. Jockton Cheney trying to headman that puck. It's picked off. The Remparts now in transition. They'll knock it down to where the corner. Jockton Cheney after it here for Halifax. Up ahead, Durando reaching for it, but that was well short of the red line right there. So an icing call in that last sequence. We'll make our way right back down into the Mooseheads end for a face-off with 9:02 to play here in period number 1. The Quebec Remparts up 1-0 thanks to Sam Dunn's second of the playoffs.
Well, some lackadaisical play in their own zone resulted in Matt Grouchy having all the time in the world in the slot, and he looks to put that one high, but he sails it just over the net. Very close call for the Remparts to go up 2-0 there. Not the guy you want to turn the puck over to in the middle of the ice.
Keith Getson out there, big face-off win, but Jockton Cheney kind of struggling with that one. He was pressured, couldn't get it out. A loose puck down behind the Mooseheads net. Ryzik heads after it here, trying to send it up the right wing side. And the Remparts clearing it right back down behind the Mooseheads net. Ryzik is after it. Jake Ryzik takes his time. Goudreau in front of the Mooseheads net right now. It's sent up ahead. Jockton Cheney was looking for Max Trepanier out at center, but that was off his stick. Now Verrett back on it in the Quebec end. Etienne Verrett, the Quebec captain, slows things down back there. A pass up the right side. Dickner trying to get a piece of that one. Doesn't, not quite able to do so. And that's going to result in an icing. So a big offensive zone face-off here coming up for the Mooseheads with 8:11 to play here in the first period.
Well, I'm a little surprised that Coach Veilleux is taking off that big line. You get an opportunity to shake up that matchup, but at the same time, that Coxhead and Grouchy line's out there, and he's looking to put his matchup against them who've been dynamite so far this first period.
Joel Bishop will take this face-off, lines up against Andrew Coxhead. Coxhead winning that one, but some good work off the draw from Perron, trying to force a turnover. Grouchy on it now. A little bump there from Perron. Sent up ahead now on the right side for Dickner. Dickner dishes off to Grouchy, trying to make his way in, but Joel Bishop breaks that one up. Now a pass up the left wing to Perron. Perron swings to cross ice here to Flower. He'll let one rip, and that is whistled dead and offside on that last sequence. 7:48 here to play in the first period. And again, another pretty good opportunity for the Remparts back in the Mooseheads' end.
Yep, this Matt Grouchy and Andrew Coxhead line, they've been having a game so far early, but a nice back check there by Joel Bishop to break that one up. And the Quebec Remparts, they've settled into what's given them success early in this series, and they're really clogging up that neutral zone, posing a tough time for the Moose to get through it.
Samuel Aslan tying up with Dubé right there, and Aslan taking a big hit after he moved that puck. A couple of feet from the boards right there as Goudreau finishes him. Up now for Lavoie. He'll work it up for Antoine Morin. Morin cutting in toward the middle. A shot just rolls off of his stick. Lost the handle on it. Delayed penalty coming up. Kite lets a shot go. Dubé blocks it. And Goudreau touching that one. A high sticking penalty coming up to Adam Goudreau. So a big power play opportunity now for the Mooseheads, the first of this first period.
Well, if Quebec has settled into their strength of holding on to that neutral zone, what's given the Mooseheads success going back to last night and already tonight, it seems every time they're coming through the neutral zone and then they decide to switch sides with the puck. What I mean from that is if you're on one side of the boards and you get it and you flip it to the other side, they're having a ton of success with that right now. So see if they make an adjustment to keep doing that going through.
This power play brought to you by Booster Juice, the official smoothie of the Halifax Mooseheads. Big battle down to the corner right off that draw. Mooseheads sending it back to McIsaac at the point. Down for Morin, back to McIsaac. He'll step in, a shot loose in front, and Durando sends it just wide. Aslan continuing to hound Savoie down low, and the Remparts able to clear that one out. Coxhead digs it free, and he'll sail at the length of the ice.
Well, the Mooseheads, who have struggled a little bit on the power play in this series, they had some success last night by just keeping things very simple and putting as many pucks as they could to the net.
Now Lavoie skates it in down the right wing. He'll rim it around the boards now for Morin, who tried to bump it back there to Aslan, but it's whacked back toward the Mooseheads blue line. Retrieved here by McIsaac. He'll take his time. Up the right wing to Lavoie. Lavoie taking a bump there from Laframboise, but he protects that puck down toward the corner for Aslan. And a good block right there as Savoie wasn't able to get it out. He'll try once again. And Dickner able to send it all the way back down into the Mooseheads' end. 1 minute gone in this Halifax power play as McIsaac gathers it up back there for Halifax.
That's a good job by Quebec outnumbering Halifax on the puck. When you're on the power play, you can't afford that. You got to have more than them on the power play.
Jake Reisig getting his way past Verrett. Reisig still with it behind the net. He'll play it back now for Jockton Cheney. Cheney dishing off for Perron. 37 seconds left on this power play. Jake Reisig with it. Tries to open up a lane. He'll hand it off to Trepanier. Steps in, shot, scores! Max Trepanier on the power play. He'll knot it up at one.
Well, that is a beautiful play by Max Trepanier. And Verrett, who did a great job, the Quebec Remparts captain, did a great job of closing that lane. He went down to block the shot, which they've done such a great job all series long. He pulls that one in about 2 or 3 feet to just sneak that around, and it goes far and low. What a shot that is. A beautiful, almost like a double pump move, and a great, great goal from Trepanier.
And I'll tie it up at one here now. Not a review. Quick commercial time out here, Jesse. I know you were panicking. We'll take a quick break. 1-1 our score. You're listening to Dartmouth Dons Mooseheads Hockey on News 95.7. And welcome back. You're listening to Dartmouth Dodge Mooseheads Hockey on News 95.7. 1-1 hockey game here with 5:51 to go in the first period. Max Trepanier striking on the power play. Gareth McDonald, former Moosehead. Jesse Lucier back with the here, and what a goal from Max Trepanier.
Yeah, what a way to break the goose egg of not having a power play goal in a few games. There's no better time to get it than right now. Great job, great shot by Max.
Philip Kurashev down behind the Mooseheads net. He's going to take a hit from Ben Higgins right there, who had him lined up, and back the other way now. Bishop will carry it, pokes it down toward the corner. Ostap Sappin finds a loose puck. He'll shoot it off the side of the net, and now he's going to head after this one. Sappin getting tripped up over there. It's going to be scooped up now by Kurashev. Plays it up the left side to Dickner. Dickner dishing off to Kurashev, and couldn't quite handle that one. Justin Barron back on it now for the Mooseheads. Partners it over to Patty Kite. Kite up the boards to Antoine Morand. Kite back after it. He'll send it up the right wing. Morand out through center. Antoine Morand making his way in, and Raphael Lavoie tangled up at the blue line there by Gabriel Montre, forced offside, and he's not happy right there, that offside call. A few words now for the linesman. 4:53 left here in this opening frame. A 1-1 hockey game. Max Trepanier scoring his third of the postseason on the power play.
Yep, again, a great shot. Great job by the power play. One player I'm very impressed with so far, again, going back to the late stage of last night, is Ostap Sappin. He's had a few very dangerous shots, and he's looking very, very good early in this period.
Mooseheads will dump this one in. Moran sending it in deep. Dunn heads after it. Pressure down there by Asselin. The pass out now. Coxhead out through center. Walter Flower finding that puck. Played it over there for McIsaac. Up ahead Asselin for Moran. And again, Lavoie offside at that Quebec blue line. So another whistle and stoppage here with 4:34 to go. And Mooseheads in a bit of trouble there, jumping the gun at the Quebec blue line.
Yep, but again, they're looking to switch sides with that puck, and it's something that's given them a little bit of success. It'll be interesting to see if they continue that trend, and because you got to do something to break the tight gap and that tight forecheck Quebec has in the neutral zone.
So Keith Getson out now with Arnaud Durando. And Ben Higgins taking a shift up here. Ben Higgins starting the game on the fourth line, but throwing his weight around now. Came into that Quebec zone with a head of steam as the Remparts come back to the way. Kurashev cutting toward the net. A good play defensively right there by Justin Barron, as Gravel was able to kick that one aside. Now a centering feed. Kurashev trying to settle it down, but Justin Barron quickly playing it up now for Getson. He's got Durando driving to Barron, a shot and a big stop right there. I'm not sure if that was blocked or if Pagliarulo got a piece of it. Getson back down to the point for Higgins. Toward the net, loose in front. It's whacked just wide. What an opportunity there for Keith Getson, alone in front of that Quebec net. A big hit down in the corner. Durando shaken up down there. We'll see what comes of this. Looks like we've got a penalty coming up here with 3:49 to play in the first period. A 1-1 hockey game.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I think it might have just been a hand pass down in that corner, but a beautiful opportunity there, and it looked like it was Chouinard, the Quebec defenseman, who slid across to block that one. And a great block by him. But I have nothing but the best to say about Justin Barron. He does not sit by. He jumped right in that rush, and a great pass across, and a beautiful opportunity there.
So no penalty there. That was a glove pass. That faceoff moving outside the Quebec blue line. Justin Barron all over the ice here in these last couple of games, playing some of his best hockey of the season. Jonathan Chaney cuts out in front of his own net. He'll play it up the left side. Joel Bishop chipping that one in. Dunn heads after it, trying to wind up behind his net. Banks it off the boards, but held in there by Reisig. Reisig steps in a shot, and it's kicked up and out of play by the netminder Pagliarulo, as that one gets caught up in the protective netting. So we get a whistle with 3:21 to play here in the first period. 1-1 our score. Max Trepanier striking on the power play for the Mooseheads here tonight.
Well, no surprise here. The Mooseheads are doing a lot of what made them successful last night, and that's throwing pucks at the net. Every chance they're getting, they're throwing it, whether it's outside, kind of that main scoring area, that slot. They're not looking for those cute plays and again, that's where they had some success last night. Look to keep that going here for the rest of this game.
So a face-off here to Pagliarulo's left. Asselin in to take this draw. Lavoie steering it down toward the corner. Out front, just missed Asselin. Now McIsaac on it toward the net, and Pagliarulo just getting a piece of that one. That puck is loose. Lavoie's stick just breaking in his hands right there. Some new wood over there at the Mooseheads bench as equipment manager Chris McDonald had one ready to go there for Lavoie. The Rempart will dump it down toward the corner. McIsaac heads after it. Turned over in front. A centering pass hits the stick of Gravel. Asselin after that loose puck, but he can't get it out. Had it stripped away by Grouchy. Grouchy dropping off. Quick little toe drag there by Laframboise, and it was knocked off of his stick as Asselin will try to roll it up ahead. Loose puck there at the Quebec blue line. Mooseheads having to be careful now. Trying to get some line changes in. Moran gaining center ice. He'll dump that one deep with 2:27 to play. Keith Getson applying some pressure down low. Hard on the forecheck. Now Trepanier keeps it alive here for the Mooseheads, trying to dish that one off there for Durando. Durando on it, plays it down the right wing boards to Trepanier, and he has it taken away from him by Kurashev, who knocks it out through center. Kite back at his own blue line. He'll partner it over to Barron. Justin Barron skates this one up ahead. Up the left wing now for Getson toward the net. And that's going to be broken up by Verrett, who blocked that pass. Justin Barron had been driving. Now Durando down in the corner out front. And the Mooseheads trying to bang at it down there. Keith Getson from his knees, just whacking, and now an opportunity. Dubé on the breakaway, cutting in a shot, and a big stop by Alex Gravel. Shuts the door. Huge save right there. Now Dunn lets one go. Another big stop from Gravel, kicking out that left pad. And the Mooseheads will clear it out. Some great goaltending from their netminder.
Well, that's what you need, Game 7. You need all your players to be the best, and that is a game saver so far early for Alex Gravel. Nice save.
Now Montre down in the corner trying to drop this one off. Kakevicius, he'll try to work it down low now for Quebec, but some good work from Jake Rysick tying up Saint Laurent, and Joel Bishop now will skate it out for the Mooseheads, sends it out toward the red line. Montre on it now, he'll bump it over for Kakevicius, dropped off for Saint Laurent, tries to spin off of Perron, down toward the corner now for Kakevicius, and Jake Rysick again, pretty physical out there, good bump on Kakevicius to knock him off the puck. Lacombe after it, he'll gain the red line and hammers one toward the net. Gravel holding on to it here with 51.3 seconds remaining in the first period. 1-1 our score, but if not for Alex Gravel on that breakaway, it could have been a different story.
Yeah, and that all started in the Mooseheads offensive zone. Justin Barron threw that one at the net, was blocked, and instantly put that one up to Dubé. And he had to be sharp on that breakaway, but then the puck came right around. He had to be sharp again on that point shot. Two great saves for him.
Mooseheads win the face-off here. It's worked up the left side now for Lavoie. He'll roll it out through center. Lacombe trying to dish that one off. It hits a body. Now it's banked off the boards back into the Mooseheads end. Flower playing it over here for McIsaac. Up the left wing to Lavoie. Lavoie not sure where it was. Lost it in his skates. Grouchy digs it out. He'll skate it in over the line. Swings it rink wide right there. And Morant after that loose puck down in the corner. Trying to create a lane. He'll bump it over now for McIsaac. McIsaac up the left wing for Asselin. Asselin dishes off for Morant. He'll try to poke it past Verrett. That puck loose. Frateroli on it. This time it's Frateroli playing it across the rink there for Lacombe. He'll whack it toward the net. Gravel stopping it, knocked it down for Barron. And the Mooseheads clearing it off the board. Savoie trying to get down to settle that one down. Down on one knee as time ticks away here. Rolling puck down to the Rempart end to end it. Arno Durando with a little bit of physical play to end this period. Little bump on Sam Dunn down in the corner. Dunn with the lone Quebec Rempart goal in that first period. And huge answer there, huge answer back tally from Max Trepanier on the power play. The Mooseheads certainly needed that here heading into the first intermission.
Yeah, and a great job. Special teams, they're always such a crucial factor in the playoffs, especially in elimination games such as tonight. And again, it looked like they were getting away from where they had success last night, which is keeping things simple. But then, you know what, just a great play from a great player, and he had that puck, and Verrett did a great job to close that lane, and he faked with a double pump and then pulled it in, which so many skilled offensive players can do. They pull it in tight to their skates to change the angle, and Pagliarulo, I don't even think he might have seen it. And all of a sudden you tie the game up, you break that goose egg where the power play has been struggling a little bit. And very rarely will you see a whole lot of penalties in a Game 7, so you got to take advantage of the power plays that you do get. A great job by the Moose.
Well, their discipline period there for Halifax did not take any penalties in that opening frame. That's always good news. Just the one penalty came from Adam Goudreau of the Quebec Remparts. Mooseheads converting on their opportunity. We'll be back to talk more about that opening period in just a bit. We'll also have a mini Moose spotlight for you, some Q-League trivia, your chance to win a hat from the Moosehead shop over at Scotia Square. We'll also check in with Chris Aleph back at the News 95.7 Sports Center. He'll take a look at some of the other games going on around the Q tonight. A couple other Game 7s taking place here this evening. Some big ones. It's a big night on the Q calendar here tonight. The playoff picture still up in the air for several teams here in the Eastern Conference. We're going to take a quick break live from the Scotiabank Center where it's 1-1 after 20. You're listening to Dartmouth Dodge Mooseheads Hockey on News 95.7.
As you know, it's all about the fun of the game, learning the game, growing up playing the game, maybe coming back as a Moosehead one day. All right, coaches getting organized. Head-to-head, 10-bit showdown with the Tassie Ducks. Parents are in place. And Mac has dropped the puck, and this one's underway. The 5-minute 10-bit showcase with the Tassie Ducks. That's number 12, Revoyez le Match in the white jersey. Give her a big shot. Did you see that shot? Number 14, Jack Attack Swicker bulges the twine way up inside the net. Now we got a chance for the white jerseys. Ringing it off the post. Number 3, the magnificent Magnus Marine. And there's another one for Jack Attack Swicker. Stick. Right there to help him out was Liens, number 7. Turns out, didn't need him that time. The puck right now is Pretty Griffin Malloy, number 6. Gets it stripped, but Jack Swicker gets it back. Trying to find a shot. Nice save. Good that save to Revoyez le Match. Fantastic Gavin Ferris on it now, along with Jack Swicker.
All right, Chris, we can come back here.
Number 3, Jacob the Puck Hunter.
Okay.
Number 15 is in the pink helmet. There she goes now. Allie Truck McDonald, our 7th player tonight. Someone blew a tire. And number 6, skating forward right now in the red jersey. That's the Pretty Griffin Malloy. Allie McDonald with a chance. And finally.
Yeah, welcome back. You're listening to Dartmouth Dodge Mooseheads Hockey on News 95.7. Gareth McDonald, former Moosehead, Jesse Lucier back with you here live from the Scotiabank Center where after the first period of play, the Mooseheads and the Quebec Remparts all tied up at 1. We'll take a look back at our scoring summary in this one so far. Sam Dunn opening the scoring for Quebec, 8:27 in. Etienne Barrette and Edward Saint Laurent picking up the helpers on that goal that gave the Quebec Remparts the first lead of the hockey game. But Max Strapanier answering back for the Mooseheads with his third of the playoffs. Jake Rysick, Xavier Perron picking up the helpers on that power play goal at 14:09. Shots on goal after 20, 9-8 in favor of Quebec. But certainly really nice here to get a big power play goal in that first period. from Max Trepanier here, Jesse. That was a big one for Halifax, particularly when you look back at some of the struggles this power play has had. You look back to Game 5, 0 for 7. Did finally get a goal last night late in the third period. Keith Getson tipping a puck home as the Mooseheads went 1 for 4 the man advantage. So there's the one power play in this game so far. The Mooseheads getting it after Adam Goudreau took a high sticking call. And so right now the Mooseheads man advantage. It's perfect, and that's always good news.
Yeah, well, yeah, 1 for 100%. That is great. But like you said, all season long, the power play has been a difference maker for the Mooseheads, and that's why you practice it all season long. That's why you have guys, on the PK in practice. You challenge your power play. So when you have moments like this, you're ready. And when you have your power play go over the bench, it's an opportunity to create that momentum for your team. Whether it's scoring that goal or getting pucks to the net and putting the other team on their back heels, whatever it is. And fortunately enough for the Mooseheads, and a great shot by Max Trepanier to tie this game up on that power play. That's good news for them.
Puck management, that's something we talked about a bit during that first period. The Mooseheads getting themselves in a bit of trouble at times in their own end.
Yeah, so Game 7 elimination, the margins are next to 0. You have no room for error, and you can't afford to be giving the other team easy opportunities. There's a few instances, I can think of one right away, where we're coming around the net, and you go to make a breakout pass, and it looked almost just a little lackadaisical. Next thing you know, Matt Grouchy's walking down Main Street all alone, and that could have very easily, with a player of that caliber, that could have very easily been in the back of the net. And for what? A simple non-managing the puck. You can't give up anything too easy. You got to make every single inch on the ice. You got to work for it. You can't give those opportunities up.
Another pretty good period there in that opening frame from Ostap Safin. He was a guy that we talked quite a bit about during Game 6 last night. Coach Eric Veilleux saying before the game this evening that he thought Ostap Safin played some of his best hockey of the season, certainly his best hockey of the playoffs last night in that big 6-1 win over the Quebec Remparts. And Ostap Safin here this evening seems to be picking up right where he left off.
Yeah, no kidding. And late in that game last night, he's getting a lot more ice time than probably he was used to in this series. But what really stood out to me in Coach Veilleux's pregame talk was that he said he had a very heated meeting with Ostap the morning before Game 6. Now, that tells me one of two things: whether it was Ostap who went in there and said, "Listen, I'm much better than this. I want a bigger role than where I'm at," or was the coach saying, "Hey, we need more out of you?" And whenever you get, a player and a coach butting heads at times, it happens. Listen, this is the game. It happens. An emotional game. You want to see how the player's going to respond. And last night he played great. So far, he's had some very great chances. He's got an absolute rocket of a shot. He's starting to use that. He's using his big frame. So when you go into a coach, whether it's he who called the meeting, whoever it was who wanted that meeting, it's a great response by him, and it's great to see a kid who can go in there and say, "You want me to play better? Okay, I'll play better," and he's showing off what he can do.
Well, last night we talked at times about the start for Alex Gravel. Mooseheads really took the Quebec Remparts during the first half of that game. They racked up plenty of shots on Carmen Anthony Pagliarulo. Alex Gravel, a bit of a different story down in the Mooseheads, and fairly quiet opening few minutes for him in that one. And then Samuel Dickner scoring one that, I think Gravel certainly would have liked to have had back. Bit of a different script here in period number 1 of Game 7. Gravel noticeably busier, and man, oh man, he made some big saves in that opening period for his Mooseheads.
Oh yeah, no question. This game right now, it could be a different story than where it's at. Instead of 1-1, it could be something a lot different. And there's one guy to say the reason for that, and that's Alex Gravel. Made a huge stop on that breakaway, and then right after, he comes down and the puck comes around and he's got to be sharp again. There's been a few chances that Quebec has had us. Again, that grouchy opportunity. He's right at the top of his crease, not giving a whole lot up. Makes him shoot high and wide. Again, it's Game 7. You need your best players to be your best players, and Alex Gravel is one of those players. He has been, like you said, there's been a few goals sure he wanted to have back, but it's the playoffs. You got to have a short memory, and good job by him by keeping his team into this game in the first period.
Well, speaking of goaltending, that's going to bring us to our Q question of the night. Well, as we said during the pregame show here tonight, 5 years since the last time the Mooseheads have played in a Game 7 here on home ice at the Scotiabank Center. Jesse, you played in that game. So, as we said, a little bit of a goaltending theme here tonight. We want to know who was in goal, who was between the pipes for the Mooseheads during the last Game 7 that was played here in Halifax. If you know the answer, you can tweet it to News 95.7 or send your tweet using the News 95.7 trivia hashtag. The answer for you coming up during our third period. Your chance to win a hat from the Moosehead shop over at Scotia Square. Again, the question tonight, who was in goal for the Mooseheads during their last Game 7 here at the Scotiabank Center 5 years ago? Got a tweet from Hockey Nova Scotia female council chair Stephen Murray, watching this game on his way to, or listening to the game rather, on his way to Bathurst here tonight. Female Midget Atlantic's coming up. Big shout out to the Station 6 Fire, the champions here from Nova Scotia. They'll be representing the province at Female Midget Atlantics in Bathurst later this week. So good luck to them. We're going to take a quick break here live from the Scotiabank Center. 1-1 after 20 minutes of play. You're listening to Dartmouth Dodge Mooseheads Hockey on News 95.7. We got 6:15, Chris. All right, sounds good, man. Thanks.
News Country, let's welcome back to the second period of action for Halifax Mooseheads.
We got a minute. We can come right back, I think, though. We're good. We'll come back right now. Perfect. Yeah, welcome back. You're listening to Dartmouth Dodge Mooseheads Hockey on News 95.7. Gareth McDonald, former Moosehead Jesse Lucier, back with you here live from the Scotiabank Center. A 1-1 hockey game here after 20 minutes of play. Shots are 9-8 in favor of the Quebec Remparts. Kind of a similar story to last night. 1-1 after the first. Shots were 9-8 in favor of the Mooseheads. And obviously last night, Jesse, Halifax really came to life in that second period.
Yeah, well, we talked about it. We were looking to see who was going to bring what we were calling the juice, who was going to bring that energy. And what they did is they put up almost, I think it was over 20 shots on net, or they had whatever it was last night. Yeah, 20 shots on net last night. That's what you're going to look for. Throw more pucks at the net, hold on to those pucks in the offensive zone. And that's where they started to take over the game last night. So you're hoping that that's what you'll see here again tonight.
Getting all set for puck drop. Top line for the Mooseheads out here to take this opening face-off here in period number 2. Samuel Asselin losing that one to Kurashev. Done over for his partner Savoie. He'll try to play that one up ahead. It's off the stick of Raphael Lavoie. It's going to roll back into the Mooseheads' end. Barron after it now for Halifax. Banked off the glass and out. Dunn trying to knock it down there out at center ice. Antoine Morin with an early hit here as Asselin will try to dump one in, but it's quickly flipped back out by Dunn, who's got the Rempart on the board. He opened the scoring in this hockey game back in the first period. Long pass up ahead here for Asselin. He'll dump it down toward the corner. Dunn heading after it here for the Rempart. Pass up the left side. Dickner will flip it out. Knocked down by Pierrick Dubé. Dubé carries it in, pulls up at the top of the circle. Tried to drop it off for Kurashev, and he just missed on that one. And then Morin spinning, trying to send Keith Getson off to the races right there. Andrew Cox said, we'll try to knock this one into the Halifax zone. It hit the official, the linesman, and McIsaac heading after it now for the Mooseheads. A pass up ahead for Getson. Rink wide for Lavoie coming down the right wing. Flower driving toward the net. And Lavoie trying to center for him right there. It just skipped over his stick. And Etienne Barrette back on it. Trying to play that one up ahead. The Rempart forced back. Now a partner pass over to Lacombe. Lacombe up toward the Mooseheads blue line for Laframboise. He'll roll one in. Now Grouchy on it here for Quebec. Loses it to Jockton Cheney. Cheney spinning, and he'll bank that one off the glass and out through center ice. Savoie knocking it down. Forces it ahead here for Grouchy. Grouchy, he's got McIsaac all over him. Grouchy trying to fight off the checks there as Trepanier knocks it loose ahead for Getson. He'll try to work it up there for Trepanier, but that was out of his reach. And Savoie back on it for Quebec, back in his own end. Up the left side, Saint Laurent, rink wide now for Kakevicius. He'll step toward the middle of the ice and couldn't get the shot off right there as Arnaud Durando was hard on him on the back check. Durando off the glass, was trying to chip that one out. Mooseheads will have to try again right now as Chouinard keeps it in. Send it down toward the front of the net, and Kakevicius not quite able to corral that one. Jockton Cheney now flipping it out through neutral ice on the backhand. Now Ostap Safin busting and cuts toward the net and just had it poked off of his stick right there by Savoie. But Ostap Safin continuing to play some of his best hockey in the playoffs. Patty Kite back with it in his own end. Winding up, a pass up the left side now for Perron. Rink wide for Safin. Safin, that long reach, knocking that one down. He'll bump it down toward the corner here for Bishop. Out for Safin, snaps his shot. Bagliarulo, the stop. Now back up toward the point for Barron. Barron walking the line. Over now for Safin. Safin dishes it off to Kite. And Kite not able to knock that pass down. And Ostap Safin using that big vertical, jumping up there. 7.5 feet in the air out at center ice as he tried to reach for that one. The Rempart will dump it back in. Loose puck. Kite after it here for Halifax. Patty Kite winding up. Up now for Lavoie coming in down the left wing. Trying to make his way past Lacombe. Protecting that puck. It was knocked out front, but the Rempart on it. Barrette, his pass broken up there by Asselin. Samuel Asselin back down the right side, pulling up, trying to open up a lane right now. He's able to fight off Kurashev for Lavoie, just misses. Lavoie almost had that one-timer off, but couldn't quite find the handle on it as McIsaac will keep it in at the left point, rims it around the boards, loose puck. Asselin heads after it. Back toward the point for Lavoie. Shot, and Bagliarulo making the stop as that one will deflect over toward the corner. Morand on it, was looking for Flower at the line, but that was broken up there by Dickner. He'll approach the red line and dump one in. Some wide open hockey here in the early going of this period. Dropped off by Getson, a shot, and that hits the back of the leg of Keith Getson. Grouchy out through neutral ice. Has it knocked off of his stick there by Trepanier. And Flower now will bump it up ahead for Getson. Some quick hands right there as he fends off Coxhead. Down toward the corner, Durando with a bump on Verrett. Verrett trying to freeze that puck down in that Quebec corner. Pops out now for Durando. He'll knock it back to the point here for Cheney. Stepping in a shot. Loose in front. Getson slides it just wide. Keith Getson now on it toward the point for Cheney. Faking the shot. A shot, he scores! Jockton Cheney through traffic in front. And that's a big one for the Mooseheads. They're up 2-1 in the second.
Well, what a shot there. I was looking to see, and I believe it was Max Trepanier who was standing right on top of Pagliarulo. It was very close, and as soon as that puck went across the line, he looked straight at the referee, and what a screen that was. And we're just taking a look here again. A great screen. It looked like it was Durando standing in front. A great job by him, not allowing Pagliarulo to see that. And this is exactly the start you wanted as a Moose. Very similar story to what we saw last night. They took over and they really started to use their speed, their transition game. And again, I mean, we might as well just expect it. It happens every time there's a goal.
The discussion's going on over there at center ice. No real shock here. And Patrick Waugh again fired up over on the bench, pointing at the tablet. He's not happy. The officials look like they're poised to go upstairs and review this one. Referees tonight: Brad Mills, Maurice LeBlanc, Justin Burchell, and Jay Dwyer on the linesman here this evening as the Patrick chant starts here at the Scotiabank Center. We heard a lot of that last night. Heard it during the early going of the first period here tonight. It appeared that Jonathan Cheney had just given Halifax their first lead of the hockey game. But the contention, the beef on that last goal appears to be the positioning in front of the Quebec net of Arnaud Durando, who was kind of right on that crease. We'll see if we can catch a replay of it here on the Jumbotron. Get some great patience from Jonathan Cheney, just waiting, kind of faked the shot initially and then let it go. And Durando with that screen in front, and that beats the netminder Pagliarulo cleanly.
Well, Jonathan Cheney, who's been having a terrific series, on both sides of the puck. He's been doing great defensively, great offensively, and I think we're about to get a call here.
Looks like they've made a decision. It counts. The Mooseheads on top, 2-1. That goal stands, and we'll see. We'll see if that'll draw a reaction from Patrick Waugh. The fans down behind the Quebec bench right now, just giving it to him like they did last night. As we said, nothing has quite got the Scotiabank Center to come to life quite like the reaction of Patrick Waugh last night. Certainly one of the all-time greats from the NHL. A guy that a lot of people in the hockey community, of course, have a whole lot of respect for, but has not had an easy time here at the Scotiabank Center as action is back underway. Ostap Safin rolling one down toward the Rempart blue line. Now he's all over Savoie, forces Savoie to send that one cross ice for his partner Dunn. Dunn will skid it in behind Pagliarulo, taking his time with it. Jonathan Cheney from Keith Getson and Arnaud Durando. They've got the Mooseheads on top, 2-1. That puck rimmed in. St. Laurent spinning as he picks it up. Quickly got one off, but it was blocked. Joel Bishop back down behind the net here for Jake Rysick. Rysick trying to fight off the check. As St. Laurent, Rysick with a heavy hit right there. He absolutely bowls over Jake Rysick. Now back the other way. Perron comes, jams on the brakes, a shot. Blocker stopped by Pagliarulo. Kite will keep it in. Kite dropping it off here for Safin. He'll let one go. That's off a body in front. And Joel Bishop whacking at that one will send it deflecting, pinballing up and into the netting down behind the Quebec net with 14:21 to play here in the second period. It's 2-1 Mooseheads.
And going back to that first goal, I think it's very important to highlight Keith Getson on that shift. He was taking abuse in front of the net and has a great chance on a rebound, just puts it wide, and then he muscles, comes up the boards, and sends an absolute feather through the zone on the back point to Jonathan Cheney, who labels one after a great screen by Durando up front. Great job by Keith Getson creating that goal for his team.
You don't have to look very far in this Mooseheads team to find high praise for Keith Getson. Lavoie spins and lets a shot go right off the face-off right there. Pagliarulo just getting a piece of that one. It's played up ahead now for Dubé. He'll roll one in, jams on the brakes along the half wall, turns it over to Asselin. Samuel Asselin back the other way now for the Mooseheads, cutting wide in the left wing. His shot, it's off a stick, ends up down in the corner. Moran giving chase. He's pinned along the boards by Dickner, fights him off, drives toward the front of the net right there, and got tripped up as he tried to make his way out front. The Rempart clearing it out through center, gathered up there by Barron. Up now for Ostap Safin, dropped off for Asselin. He tried to center that one toward the slot. It was off his skate. And Brandon Frattaroli picking it up now for the Rempart, approaching the red line. He'll dump one in. Justin Barron after it. Antoine Morand open up that left wing, looking for that pass. He gets it. and he'll just get it in over the red line, dumps it down toward the corner. Savoie after the Mooseheads trying to get a line change in right now. Keith Getson, the catalyst on that go-ahead goal for the Mooseheads. Back out here for Halifax as Grouchy will send one in deep. It's off the paddle of Alex Gravel down toward the corner. Jared McIsaac battling down there. Trying to take it away from Coxhead. He's got Grouchy on him as well. And it's off the stick of Flower toward the front of the net, but Keith Getson taking that one away, and then Getson in a little bit of trouble, tied up by Matthew Grouchy, and Keith Getson's going to head off for holding with 12:55 to play here in the second period. The Mooseheads will have to kill off their first penalty of the game. When we come back, you're listening to Dartmouth Dodge Mooseheads Hockey on News 95.7.
After the game last night, a number of the Mooseheads and your coach all said, "Holy crap, that is the loudest I have ever heard Scotiabank Center." It's true. And I want you to know how important you all are as the seventh man tonight when we bring this home and take it into round two. So, let's show those Remparts.
Yeah, welcome back. You're listening to Dartmouth Dodge Mooseheads Hockey on News 95.7. Gareth McDonald, former Moosehead Jesse Lucier, back with me here live from the Scotiabank Center. Boy, is this place loud here tonight. Jonathan Cheney has got the Mooseheads on top. 2-1. He scores 4:41 into the second period. Great setup from Keith Getson, who unfortunately now finds himself in the penalty box. First power play of the game here coming up for Quebec as Getson heads off for holding.
Well, so far a very good period for the Mooseheads. They've completely dominated puck possession. It seems like the first time Quebec got into the zone, and a bit of a mix-up there, which resulted in Getson hauling down Grouchy, and now they're going to the penalty kill.
The Remparts winning that face-off, but it ends up over the Mooseheads blue line. So Verrett forced back into his own end. He'll play it over now for Sam Dunn, the goal scorer for Quebec. Knocked back here for Kurashev. He'll skate it in, coming down the right wing, takes it down behind the net. Justin Barron lines him up right there. A little bump down low. And Grouchy now trying to fight off Brock McLeod, who's able to knock that one free, and a great clear right there from Brock McLeod.
Well, that's it. You know, Brock McLeod doesn't get a whole lot of 5-on-5 time, so he knows his job, so he's going to be out here doing everything he can to do what he can to get his team through to the next round.
Verrett left that one for Kurashev. He'll skate it in, tried a short pass there for Grouchy. That missed, but Kurashev right back after that loose puck, and he's going to turn that one over to Antoine Morin, the Mooseheads captain, clearing it off the glass and out through center ice. Grouchy back on it now. Over here for Kurashev. Dropped off for Verrett. Verrett for Dunn, stepping in a shot. He'll send that one wide of the net. Grouchy's after it. Grouchy for Kurashev. That shot wide. Coxhead picks up this loose puck. Back toward Grouchy, and it poked off of his stick by the Mooseheads captain, Antoine Morin, who's got a pretty good shift here in this PK.
Yeah, very good job. Way to identify when to pressure and when to sit back. There's lots of skill on this Quebec Remparts power play, and they've done some damage, so that's a great job so far.
Sam Dunn getting himself in a little bit of trouble there as he ran into Joel Bishop at the line. A turnover. Now a bouncing puck as Lacombe battles with Bishop. Bishop will clear that one out. Just 20 seconds left now. And that holding penalty to the Mooseheads, Keith Getson. The fans here are appreciative of the PK so far. Lacombe up to center ice. Bumps it back there for Dunn. Over now for Kurashev. Trying to cut past Kite. But he's pressured now, a centering feed. Kukevich just couldn't find the handle on that one. He's got Justin Barron all over him, and that penalty to Getson now over as Kite plays it around the boards. Brock McLeod back after it, takes a hit there from Dubé, but he's able to knock it out through center. Rolling puck back down to the Rempart end, gathered up here by Savoie, knocked over for Lacombe. Back to five-a-side hockey. Montre's pass off the skate there of Jonathan Cheney, and Cheney was able to clear that one out over the line. The Rempart clearing it right back in. Kite scoops it up here. Mooseheads looking to break out. Keith Getson, rink wide now for Cheney. Cheney up toward the blue line, dumps it in. Glove down there by Savoie. Savoie takes a bump, got knocked over as Durando applies some pressure. Getson in there as well. The pass up ahead now for Montre, and a good read by Jockton Cheney, picking it off and dumping it right back in as Durando turns on the Jets, trying to whack that one off the stick of Savoie, but Andrew Cox had the Fall River native able to come away with it here. He'll come streaking down the left side, snap this shot off the shin pad of Rysick, and the Mooseheads playing this one up ahead to Asselin out and over his own blue line right there. Little pile up at that line now as Coxhead takes it back in. He's got Asselin on him, and then he takes a big hit down low from Jockton Cheney, and that'll draw some applause here at the Scotiabank Center as the Mooseheads dump that one in. It's gloved by Pagliarulo. He's going to hang on to it with 9:32 to play in the second period. A 2-1 hockey game. Jockton Cheney and Max Trapanier with the goals for the Mooseheads, and Jockton Cheney with one of the biggest hits of the night down behind the Mooseheads net.
Well, we talk in the first period, we didn't see a whole lot of juice. Well, we got a whole lot of it right now. Great job by the Mooseheads. This has been a period exactly the way, very similar to how we've seen the play all season.
Quebec Remparts don't have a shot on net here. We're more than halfway through this period.
That's right. They've yet to give up a shot. They've completely dominated puck possession, even on that penalty kill. The building's rocking. They're throwing the weight around. They're right back in the offensive zone. This is how you want to play a Game 7. Great job for the Mooseheads after that first period.
Top line out here now for Halifax. Antoine Moran's going to line up against Kurashev. Moran wins that one back to McIsaac. McIsaac's shot, that's off a leg. The leg of Dubé as Dickner tries to send it up ahead there. And Dubé's stick coming up high as the Mooseheads send this one up now for Lavoie. He'll knock it in. Done. Heading after it here for the Remparts. Jams on the brakes. Takes a bump there from Trapanier. Rolling puck over toward the corner. Antoine Moran reaching for this one. Antoine Moran looking to settle it down now. Dropped off for McIsaac. He'll play it down toward an open corner there looking for Lavoie, but it skips over his stick. Now Dickner on it. Rolls it back down behind the Quebec net. Dunn has his stick, or pardon me, Lavoie with his stick broken right there as he was trying to apply a little bit of pressure on Dunn. Dubé takes this one in. McIsaac will strip it away from him though, and now McIsaac off the boards, up ahead for Bishop, out through center. Bishop up ahead now for Toner as that puck just kind of rolled off of his stick. Trapanier, little bump on Kurashev down low as Bishop plays it out now for Toner, a shot, and Pagliarulo making the stop on that one as Trapanier drives in hard toward the front of the Rempart net, and that'll draw a little bit of attention with 8:26 to play in the second period, and the Mooseheads leading 2-1.
Yeah, you got to be careful on that one. Trepanier, that's about as close to a body check on a goalie as you might see, and lucky they're not getting one there, but great job by Denny Toner. Again, not getting a whole bunch of ice time, but going back to last game, he's making his presence known, just keeping it simple, and a great shot there, great opportunity. And going back just a few minutes, Bishop had a great chance, full of speed through that neutral zone. A great job by him.
Shots here in the second period, 7-0 for the Mooseheads. Remparts still looking for their first shot. They outshot Halifax 9-8 in the opening frame. Great pass there to Perron. Lets one go, and Pagliarulo making a stop on that one. Still not quite sure he saw that one. Kakevich just takes it in, and a great hit there from Sappin as we had an opportunity. Grouchy snapping the shot. Gravel making the save and holding on to it here with 8:09 to play in the second period. Another great play there from Ostap Sappin, a big hit. When you think Ostap Sappin, I'm not sure that Big Checker is the first thing that pops into your mind, but he has really been throwing his weight around over the last few games.
That's right, and at this stage, you have to do everything you can to give your team success, and if you're in that role, your coach has asked you to play it, hey, listen, you got to do it. Great job by him. And it took a little while for Quebec to get their first shot, but Gravel had to be sharp on that. Nice opportunity there for Grouchy.
8:09 left here in the second period. Mooseheads on top, 2-1. Rempart winning this one back for Rodzinski at the left point. Plays it down the boards for Grouchy, and his shot is off the paddle of Alex Gravel. The netminder steering that one up and into the lower bowl here. So a quick whistle, and the Rempart getting their first shot here of this second period as we prepare for another face-off to Alex Gravel's right.
Yeah, and you know what? Usually when you get an offensive zone face-off, you're putting your best line on, and no doubt about it, Coxhead and Grouchy has been Quebec's top line, and that's why they're on the ice.
Little pile up there off that face-off as the puck rolls down toward the corner for Grouchy, trying to fight off McIsaac. Plays it back now toward that left point for Verrett. Back down toward the corner. And McIsaac with a bump there on Grouchy. He comes away with the puck. He'll play it up the middle for Durando. Arno Durando out through center ice. Good stick work there. A couple of good pokes from Verrett, who was able to break it up. And Savoie on it now, winding up out of his own end, making his way down the right wing. Savoie gaining the zone, got a shot off. And that puck was wide. It bounces off the end boards. Will skip out toward the side of the net. And Alex Gravel not taking any chances right there as he pounces on that one. He'll hang on to it with 7:31 left in period number 2. The Mooseheads on top 2-1. Goals here for Max Trapanier back in the first period. And Jonathan Cheney here in period number 2.
Well, Halifax has seemed to really start to find success in beating that almost trap style that Quebec has been playing. And they've done so by hitting that neutral zone with a ton of speed and wasting no time in getting those pucks up. So let's see if they continue that for the rest of this period.
The face-off here to Gravel's left. Jake Rysick coming away with the puck off that draw. Higgins quickly up now for Joel Bishop coming in down the right side as Higgins lets one rip. His stick will explode on him right there as that one sails up and out of play. Ben Higgins getting a whole lot on that shot.
Well, that's a couple broken sticks now tonight. So Chris McDonald, Macker getting a lot of work in. He's doing his part. Everyone's doing their part. Not too sure he'll be happy with all these broken sticks, but hey, listen, it's Game 7. I can see him right now. He's taping somebody's stick up, getting another weapon ready for his players. He's a true pro. Great job by him, and he's getting his work in for tonight. About time.
Absolutely. Antoine Morin lining up here against Kurashev. This face-off to Pagliarulo's left. Morin knocking it down behind that Quebec net right off that draw. Some good work here from Samuel Lasselin. Little bump on Verrett as it's knocked out through center. Kite partnered over for Barron up the right side for the captain, Antoine Morin. He'll dump that one in. The Remparts trying to clear it out. It's gloved down there at the line by Justin Barron, who's able to keep that one in, at least momentarily. It's whacked out through center, and Kite trying to send that one cross ice, but nobody home for the Mooseheads. Now a turnover. Kurashev making his way. It spins, and a big save right there by Gravel on that shot from Kurashev. Now Kurashev gets a shot off a great block from Morin as Dunn lets one go. Blocked this time by Asselin, and now it's fed up ahead, but Asselin kind of cutting toward the right as that one was sent up the left side. Asselin almost with a breakaway opportunity.
That was a pretty close one to too many men, but in a Game 7 elimination game, they're very unlikely a ref will call that unless the entire team's on the ice.
Gets it up toward the Quebec blue line, streaking in a shot, and that one is just up and over the net right there. Keith Getson trying to create something out of nothing right there, and what a rush down that right wing.
And again, the Mooseheads are having success when they're going through that neutral zone with a lot of speed, and great job by Keith Getson. He doesn't wait. No one's waiting. You attack with speed. When when they sit those guys back, a lot of times they're flat-footed. So if you hit the line with full speed, you might catch a guy flat-footed, and you have those outside lanes. So great job by him identifying that, and a very great, nice stop by Pagliarulo.
Luka Kevicius and Joel Bishop tying up off that face-off as Lacombe will come away with it. Flips it out, bouncing puck back toward the Mooseheads end. Rising is there. He'll send it up the boards. Perron poking it up ahead, and Lacombe will whack it back out. Frateroli knocks it in. Loose puck. Kevish is trying to turn on the Jets, but good stick lift by Rising as Joel Bishop will knock this one out through center ice. Ostap Safin gathering it up now. He'll make his way down the right wing. Safin down in the corner with it. Tries to fight off Saint Laurent, and a great shift now from Safin as he plays it back to the point now for Cheney. He lets a shot go. Traffic in front. Pagliarulo making the stop on that one. He'll hang on to it here with just over 5 minutes to play in the second period. The Mooseheads on top 2-1 here in Game 7. Winner moves on to round 2. We'll take a quick break. You're listening to Dartmouth Dodge Mooseheads Hockey on News 95.7.
This is the second period of hooky. So let's see some goals out there.
Thanks, Chris.
Let's see those goals. That's a crossing.
Yeah, welcome back. You're listening to Halifax Mooseheads Hockey on News 95.7. Gareth McDonald, former Moosehead Jesse Lucier, back with you here live from the Scotiabank Center with 5:33 to play in this second period. Shots are 17-13 in favor of the Mooseheads. 2-1 our score. Max Trepanier, Jock Cheney with the goals for Halifax. Sam Dunn, the lone Rempart tally. A face-off back in the Quebec end. The Rempart come away with it. Lacombe quickly up the left wing now for Dickner. Dickner, top of the left circle, lets a shot go. And a routine stop right there for Alex Gravel, looking pretty casual with the glove save. Hangs on to it with 5:25 now remaining. And Jesse, over the last couple of minutes, the Rempart getting a bit more rubber at Alex Gravel, but you know, what a start in the second period for the Mooseheads. It was 12 minutes before Quebec finally got a shot on goal.
Well, that's where the Mooseheads have always had success, holding on to that puck possession. That's their style of game, speed, and that's why they're having success so far here in the second period.
Mooseheads win the face-off. Jarrett McIsaac out through center. Coxhead will send it back into his own end for the captain, Etienne Barrette. Lacombe up now for Coxhead. He'll headman it up the left side for Dickner. Pulls up, opens up a lane. Lacombe shoots, and a big stop by Alex Gravel as he'll flash the glove on that one. Another save here for Alex Gravel with 5:06 to go in the second period.
And again, no surprise, Grouchy involved in this play, and Lacombe coming down, but not a whole lot of traffic there, so I would give Gravel that one all day long. But again, you don't want to allow guys to kind of walk down Main Street to have too many opportunities like that, especially a guy like Lacombe with such a heavy shot.
Here, Olivier Lacombe, 5'11", 212 pounds, and man, can he shoot that puck. Real sharp stop right there from the Mooseheads netminder. Asselin lining up against Kurashev, and Rempart trying to come away with it, but a good work there off that draw from Antoine Morant. He'll streak in down the right side, cuts toward the middle. Antoine Morant still has it, may have taken a stick up high right there, and then he gets dumped down in the corner by Dubé. Lavoie trying to dance his way past Laframboise, but he turns it over, and Laframboise now will knock this one out through center ice. The Mooseheads dumping it right back in as Patty Kite took a big hit there from Dubé out at neutral ice. Sam Dunn slowing things down back in his own end, steps out from behind his own net, making his way up through center. His pass missing its target right there, and that's an easy icing call for the linesman. And we'll head back down to the Quebec end for a face-off with 4:28 left here in this middle frame. 2-1 our score. Shots now 17-15 in favor of the Quebec Remparts. Or pardon me, of the Mooseheads rather.
Well, you got to give Quebec a little bit of credit here. They struggled in that first 10-12 minutes or so of this period, but they've really started to get back into their groove and start to slow down the Mooseheads.
Face-off now to Pagliarulo's right. Saint Laurent driving forward off that draw. He'll send it into the Mooseheads end. It's whacked down low by Barrette. Kakevicius takes a big hit down there as the puck's knocked out front. Saint Laurent spins, and it's off the paddle of Gravel. Kakevicius trying to fend off Jock Cheney. Good work there by Cheney, trying to knock it off of his stick as Kakevicius gets knocked over. Puck squirting free here for Bishop. Bishop will flip it up the right wing, and Perron taking a whack at it. Joel Bishop up ahead here for Saffin. He's going to leave it for Bishop, and now Saffin back after it. Steers it into the Rempart end. No pressure there from the Mooseheads, though, and Barrette quickly able to headman it for Saint Laurent. He'll snap his shot. That one's way wide. Bounces off the end board, so for Ostap Saffin. He's going to skate this one in, coming down the left wing. Fights off Dunn and swings it back toward an open point. McIsaac racing to get over, and after that one, he'll knock it down behind the Quebec net. Chouinard after it as it's stripped away by Durando. Arnaud Durando creating a little bit of speed now as he tries to fight off the check. Chouinard sends it out front. Loose puck, a shot from Getz and kicked aside by Pagliarulo, and the Rempart cleared out through center. McIsaac now up the left wing for Durando. He'll just flip one in toward the Quebec goalie, and he'll hang on to it here with 3:06 left now in the second period. What an opportunity in front for Keith Getson.
Yeah, and that all started from Durando building up that speed, moving around the zone, looking like a Peter Forsberg out here, and that one hand just throwing it to the middle. And again, that's all it takes, especially in these game sevens where, you know, again, the margins are so tight. Just throw pucks at the net. You never know what might happen, and a great chance there, but well done by Durando. What a showcase of skill and speed that was.
Keith Getson with a pretty good opportunity. Keith Getson was clutch last year for the Charlottetown Islanders in Game 7 in Round 1 against Quebec. His team coming out on top 8-3. There's a shot. Lavoie lets it go. Kicked out by Bagliarulo. McIsaac will keep it in here at the right point. McIsaac protecting the puck. He's got it down low. Jarrett McIsaac flipped out now for Lavoie. Whistled wide. Antoine Morin will keep it in at the right point. Over now for Aslan. Knocked over here for McIsaac stepping in. His shot was blocked by Grouchy. Barrett up the boards. McIsaac trying to pinch in there, but Grouchy will knock it away. Worked up ahead here for Frateroli coming in down the left wing, and he'll just wrist one in toward Alex Gravel. Easy glove stop there for Gravel, but the Remparts getting an offensive zone face-off out of it as a result as Gravel holds on to it.
Well, coming back down to the other end, what a job by Jared McIsaac going around the net, holding that, and a nice little backhand floater into the slot right to Raphael Lavoie, and he just whistles that one wide. He doesn't miss those too often. A great pass there.
Raphael Lavoie leading all players here in the postseason in goal scoring. 7 goals for big Raphael Lavoie through the first 6 games as Getson lines up against Kurashev. A big win right there for Getson, but we get a whistle here. The linesman didn't like the way that face-off occurred, so we're going to do it all over again right now.
Coach Bayou hasn't shied away from putting Getson on the ice in his D zone. He wants these face-offs, and no surprise that Kurashev and the big line is out for Coach Waugh. He's looking for anything to generate offense with only 2.5 minutes to go here.
Keith Getson squaring off now against Kurashev. This time it's Kurashev winning it as Savoie will make his way down the boards, cutting toward the middle. His shot was blocked by Barron. Bouncing puck side of the net. Montre after it. He'll play it back to the point now for Dunn. His shot is wide. It's off the end boards. Now Getson heading after it, plays it back down low there for Barron. Quick pass over to Kite, who just missed it. And now Kite pressured by Dunn. Dunn able to knock it back down behind the Mooseheads net as Barron is on it. Up ahead now for Higgins. A pass out through center. And that was broken up there by Savoie. Dubé is getting it right back in. Lets his shot go. Gravel knocks it away as Barron heads after it. He'll take a bump there from Montre. Dubé with a hit on Joel Bishop. And Dubé now working over Bishop. Couple of cross checks in the back, and fans wanting to call on that one. And Dubé he's going to get called right there, no doubt about that one. And these two tied up once again. As we come back the other way, delayed penalty coming up here as the Rempart will finally touch the puck. A cross-checking call to Eric Dubé. That's drawn by Joel Bishop, who was putting in some good work down in his own end. And Dubé hanging the glass there as he heads off to the penalty box. The Mooseheads with a power play opportunity now, brought to you by Booster Juice, the official smoothie of the Halifax Mooseheads.
Well, certainly not the smartest penalty to take there. I think he probably got away with a few behind the net, and the crowd started letting the refs hear it, and then he skates in front and just cross-checks Bishop from behind in front of the net. That is a very, very bad penalty to take. Your team has really started to kind of take it to him. And all of a sudden, now you're putting the Mooseheads back on the power play. Very undisciplined penalty. Not what you want to be doing in Game 7.
Second power play of the game here for Halifax. They scored in their first opportunity back in the first period. Toronto will play it down toward the corner. Aslan hard after. It comes back to the point now for Antoine Morin. Morin slows things down, bumped over to McIsaac, right back to Morin at the top of that right circle. He'll work it down low now. Durando out front for Lavoie. Shot stopped there by Bagliarulo. And the Quebec netminder pounces on that loose puck, covering up the rebound with just 1:09 left here in the second period. 96 seconds remaining on this Halifax power play.
And going back to that penalty, you can't put the ref on the spot like that. He probably let you get away with a few, and you know that the ref was telling him, let him go, and it's right in front of him. And again, you're in the offensive zone. I can't stress that enough. Not a penalty that you want to take ever, but especially in a Game 7 when you're already down 2-1.
Morin out here to take this face-off, lining up there against Laframboise. As Moran's able to play it back now to the right point to McIsaac, walking the line, plays it back over now for Antoine Morin, down low for Durando. That pass skipping over his stick. He's pinned along the boards here by Barrett with one hand, trying to knock it over for Aslan. Rimmed hard around the boards now as McIsaac will pinch in. Pressured there by Dickner, but the Mooseheads keep it alive. Now Aslan over here for Lavoie, back toward the left point. McIsaac on it. McIsaac dishes it off for Antoine Morin. 36 seconds left. McIsaac, a shot. Pagliarula will knock that one aside. A minute left on this power play. Lavoie jams on the brakes. Verrett blows it. Dyer, Moran, front of the net, a shot, and that's off the crossbar. Bouncing puck down behind the net. What an opportunity in the lake going for the Mooseheads as Quebec is able to clear this one out.
And what an opportunity is right. It didn't take long. They identified. I think it was Verrett who went to step up on Lavoie, and he lost his footing. And they very quickly had a great chance. They didn't miss by much.
McIsaac with it here, just 5 seconds left as Getzing comes in over the line, and that's going to be whistled dead. An offside call here at that Quebec blue line. Just 4.2 seconds remaining here in this second period. 2-1 hockey game. Halifax on top right now.
Yeah, and going back to that play, when you have a power play and then a player on the penalty kill is out of position, even for a split second, just like you saw, it doesn't take long to expose that, especially with the talent level of the Mooseheads power play. They snap that one across the ice, and it's a one-touch pass to Durando right in the slot, and he just catches and releases, and it's a crossbar, and it's inches away from being 3-1.
Well, Jake Rice is going to want this one, but a turnover now. Kutkevich is skating it in, gets a shot off. Mooseheads with a pretty aggressive formation there on that face-off that was back in the Quebec Remparts blue line, and the Mooseheads lucky that there was only 4.2 seconds remaining in that second period.
A double-edged sword whenever you're being aggressive is you expose yourself defensively, and good job by Kutkevich to identify that. He jumped right away, and like you said, he was off to the races, but he had to get that shot off due to only 4 seconds left.
Coming up here during our second intermission, we'll have some herd history for you, an installment of Meet the Mooseheads, and we'll have a full scoring summary and our out-of-town scoreboard as well with our producer, Chris Alef, back at the News 95.7 Sports Center right here in Halifax. 2-1 Mooseheads after 40. We'll take a quick break live from the Scotiabank Center. You're listening to Dartmouth Dodge Mooseheads Hockey on News 95.7.
Now from the home rock and roll Q104, here's BJ Wilson. Thanks, Rick.
All right, Chris, we can come back here.
We're going to take a little last shot and try to get your puck closest to the center ice. We're going to put Mark down here in this end.
Okay.
Riley's over in that corner. We got Logan down here and Harry over here. We'll eliminate them. I'll tell you what we're going to do. This is going to be a one-shot deal right here. One shot from each of you. Closest to center ice is our winner. Are you ready? We're going to start with Mark. You're up first, buddy. Put that right on the dot. That's not bad. It slows down. That's very good.
Yeah, welcome back. You're listening to Dartmouth Dodge Mooseheads Hockey on News 95.7. Gareth McDonald, former Moosehead Jesse Lucier, back with you here live from the Scotiabank Center, where after 2 periods of play, the Mooseheads lead the Quebec Remparts 2-1 in this Game 7. Winner moves on to round 2. Taking a quick look back at our scoring summary, Jesse, with Sam Dunn opening the scoring for Quebec back in the first period. The blue liner from Port Hope, Ontario, scoring his second of the postseason at 8:27. Etienne Verrett and Edward Saint Laurent picking up the helpers on that one, but the Mooseheads would answer back on the man advantage. Max Trepanier with his third of the playoffs. Jake Reisig and Xavier Perron picking up the assists on that goal at 14:09. So we're all tied up at 1 after 20. Jockton Cheney with the lone goal in that second period to give the Mooseheads their first lead of this hockey game. Real great start in that second period for Halifax. We'll talk a bit more about that in just a bit, but what a setup there from Keith Getson. He picks up one of the assists. Arno Durando also picking up a helper. That goal coming just 4:41 in, and again, Keith Getson with a bit of a beast mode shift there for Halifax on that Jonathan Cheney setup.
Well, there's a reason why Cam Russell went and got this guy. He torched them last year in the playoffs, and now he's torching for them this year. So Keith Getson, I mean, 2 games in a row, the back's against the wall. You need your players to be responsible on the offense, on the defense, to do all the little things right. Here's a guy, he's a real meat and potatoes kind of player, but he also has a lot of skill. He combines, what you see is what you get every single night. He's Mr. Consistency. The coach knows exactly what he's getting from him when he puts him on the ice. He can put him on his D-zone face-offs. He puts him on the offense. Love what I'm seeing from Keith Getson here tonight.
Well, right before that second period started, Jesse, you talked a bit about the juice. We heard you talk about the juice last night. The Mooseheads had to find the juice, and it looks like they may have gone to the juice bar during that first intermission because they came out flying in that second period. Quebec did not get a shot on goal until there were probably about 12 minutes in before they finally got a shot on goal. Halifax came out real hungry in period number 2, and you know, head coach Eric Veilleux had to be happy with that.
Oh yeah, and he went, talking in his press conference before Game 6, he wanted to see some more hunger from his team. He wanted to see a little bit more energy, or as we like to call it, the juice. And in the first period, a little bit timid. It's Game 7, maybe the first one for a lot of these guys. It's nerve-wracking. It's a tough environment to play, and it is. Last night you're in bed, you're thinking all about it. You have a great Game 6, but now you're thinking, geez, I got to go back, I got to do it again, and you win, you move on, and yada, yada, yada. So you go in after the first period, you start to settle into the game, and then the second period, we start to see it. We start to see some bodies being thrown, we start to see some simple hockey, fast hockey, and we really start to see the juice, and they were really taking it to the Quebec Remparts, especially in that first 10, 12 minutes or so. They didn't even give up a shot, including when they were on short-handed, they didn't even give up a shot. But then you got to give Quebec a little bit of credit. They started to get back to what made them successful, and they started to get some momentum back.
Yeah, Quebec getting some shots on net in the late going of that second period after really failing to get much of anything going down on the Mooseheads end. As we said, for the first 11 or 12 minutes of that second stanza, you said Quebec kind of was able to regain or find their game again in the later stages of period number 2. But perhaps if they want to get back into this game, they're going to have to step away from what's given them success here in the postseason to date.
Well, that's right. A big part of why they've had success in this series and forcing this Game 7 is the fact that they do sit back, they play that defensive zone shell, they wait for opportunities, they wait for turnovers, they wait for Halifax to kind of make the mistake. But going into the third period, you're down by a goal. You're shorthanded for another 27 seconds. So it'll be interesting to see how their game plan starts to shift a little bit, because obviously they're going to need to start putting a little bit more pressure on, taking a little bit more risks. They've played such a disciplined style that the change might start to open up the ice for the Mooseheads. So if they can weather that storm and then manage the puck like they have been, they might be able to catch Quebec outside of that defensive shell. And now guys like Durando and Lavoie and Asselin with their speed, they might just be able to start to get some more odd man rushes. We haven't seen a whole lot of that in this series, but Quebec is going to have to change their style if they want to start climbing their way back into this game.
Jared McIsaac perhaps shaking the rust off a little bit in the early going of the first period, but had a pretty good frame there in the second. That set up for Raphael Lavoie. He just served it up on a platter for him. McIsaac showing some terrific puck protection skills, but what a saucer pass as he made his way around the boards, down behind the Quebec net, and then he just steps out of the side of the goal, serving it up on a tee for Raphael Lavoie. Almost a 3-1 hockey game right there.
Yeah, and anytime you get a player of that caliber sitting watching his team, he's foaming at the mouth to get back in, do what he can to help. And sometimes players can come back and try to do too much. And it looked like he was maybe trying to do a little bit too much, and it didn't take him long to settle in, get back to what's made him such a dominant player all season long. And just like he said, he identified such a great skater, creates ice, moves behind the net. What vision to just put a little bit of air under that pass on the backhand, right on the tape of Lavoie in the slot, who's been absolutely dynamite in this playoff series. And he didn't miss that one by much, so great job by him. Good recovery after a bit of a slow start.
Well, safe to say the biggest period of the season is coming up here in just a bit. The Mooseheads leading the Quebec Remparts 2-1 after 40 minutes here in Game 7. Winner moves on to round 2. We'll take a quick break live from the Scotiabank Centre in downtown Halifax. You're listening to Dartmouth Dodge Mooseheads Hockey on News 95.7. So we got 8:22. Yeah, so you can get into her at the beat the Mooseheads, and we'll do herd history in just a bit. Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it.
It's 10 days in May. It is the memorial. With the moves in the period, LHJMQ.
And on this day in herd history, back in 2002, the Mooseheads hosted the Rimouski Oceanic here in downtown Halifax in the 7th and deciding game of their best of 7 opening round playoff series. Now the Mooseheads would open the scoring in that one. Mike Couch scoring for Halifax, 4:32 into the first period to put the herd up 1-0, an unassisted tally. Brandon Benedict would ice the game in the second for Halifax with his 5th of the postseason as the Mooseheads skated to a 2-0 win. Danny Dallaire perfect in goal, turning it aside all 40 Rimouski shots as the Mooseheads moved on to round 2, where they would face the Cape Breton Screaming Eagles in the Battle of Nova Scotia. That was 17 years ago today, on this day in herd history. We got 2:55, so we can take this break and come right back and send to you. Perfect, man. Yeah, welcome back. You're listening to Dartmouth Dodge Mooseheads Hockey on News 95.7. The Mooseheads leading the Quebec Remparts 2-1 after 40 here in Game 7. Our third period, biggest period of the season coming up in just a moment. But first, we'll send things over to the News 95.7 Sports Center right here in Halifax and check in with our producer, Chris Aleph, who has our out-of-town scoreboard. Chris. Chris, we got about 40 seconds. I'm going to reset the board real quick here just because it's a little funky. Yeah, 1 sec. Yeah, we're back on now. Yeah, we can come back. All right, boom. Hopefully this holds up. Yeah, call me right away if we go off. Yeah, welcome back. You're listening to Dartmouth Dodge Mooseheads Hockey on News 95.7. Gareth McDonald, former Moosehead, Jesse Lucier back with you here for the final frame. Biggest period of the season coming up right now for the Mooseheads. They lead Quebec 2-1 after 2 periods of play. And the Mooseheads here, Jesse, starting this one off with an abbreviated power play.
Yep, and a great opportunity to take advantage of that undisciplined penalty right at the end of that last frame, and a great chance to set yourselves up to defend that lead to get yourselves into the next round.
Nice play by Rising to keep it alive there at the right point, but Lavoie kind of getting tripped up, lost an edge, and Verrett was able to poke it out. Just 7 seconds now left on this Halifax power play. McIsaac with it back in his own end, plays it over to Rising, and he'll skate this one in. That penalty now over, back to 5-a-side hockey as Rising launches one toward the net. It was kicked out there by Pagliarulo. Aslat trying to shovel it down toward the corner. That was broken up right there, and Sam Dunn heading after it now for the Remparts up the left wing, or the right wing, pardon me, there for Dubé. Now Lavoie breaking it up, trying to bump it down low for Getson. Lavoie now back to the line for Kaida, shot! In front, they score! Keith Getson from his knees will tuck it past Pagliarulo. What an effort, what a goal! The Mooseheads on top 3-1.
Well, just right on cue. We talked about him in between periods. Keith Getson has been dynamite these last 48 hours, both games. What a job he does in front of the net, stays in front, battles to keep position right on top of Pagliarulo, and he's tied up. He's got his stick all over him, and he still finds a way. He lunges for that puck and tucks it in just inside the post. What an extra effort there from Keith Getson. And this is exactly why they traded for him, to get him for this moment right here, and he is not disappointed.
Well, Keith Getson was clutch for the Charlottetown Islanders in Game 7 against Quebec in Round 1 last year. He's coming up clutch here tonight for the Mooseheads. A massive goal, scored his first and second of the postseason last night for the Mooseheads, and picking up right where he left off here tonight. great to see Keith Getson rewarded. We talked about the little things, the details that he does so well, but he's been firing a lot of rubber at Pagliarulo all series long. Third of the team in shots coming into this game.
An incredible job by him all game long, and good job for him getting that goal. Well deserved.
Trepanier battling over the corners. Coxic comes away with a quick shot there from Leframboise. Kicked out by Gravel. He'll make another stop on Lacombe. That was loose. And Getson on it now for the Mooseheads. He'll play it back for McIsaac. Up ahead now for Getson. Out through center. Dropped off for Trepanier. He'll bump it back to McIsaac. McIsaac approaching the line. Can't dump that one in. Past Lacombe. Now McIsaac trying it again. He'll send it up the right wing now for Trepanier. Forced to play it back now for Rysick and the Mooseheads end. 18-18 left here in the third period. Halifax on top, 3-1 in Game 7 as McIsaac sends that one up the right wing. Savoie knocking it out through center ice. Saint Laurent picks it up, but he'll turn it over. Perron getting a stick in that lane as the Mooseheads clear this one in. Savoie rimming it around the boards. Frateroli will try to chip it out through neutral ice. Ostap-Safin back on it now for the Mooseheads. Over for Jonathan Cheney. Up ahead for Joel Bishop. This one's chipped in. Perron heads after it. He'll jam on the brakes down low. The Remparts back on it. They'll shovel this one out back into the Mooseheads end. Barron after it here. He'll play it up ahead now for big Ostap-Safin. Safin protecting the puck. Tries to dance his way past Chouinard, and he'll poke it down low. Safin coming to life here in the later stages. Now a turnover. Asselin letting one go right there. It's off a body. But Ostap-Safin has come to life here over the last couple of games for the Mooseheads. This is the Ostap-Safin we remember. He's playing some great hockey right now for Halifax as Moran dumps that one in. It's knocked back into the Halifax end. Barron will bump it over to Kite. Quickly up the left side now for Antoine Moran. Moran for Ass. Last shot stopped by Pagliarulo, and he's going to pounce on that loose puck as Raphael Lavoie is down there looking for it. And a couple of words for Philip Kurashev, who was right in Raphael Lavoie's ear. And Philip Kurashev better be careful down there, because as we've seen, Raphael Lavoie is a pretty tough customer.
Well, the interesting thing to me is I'm going to be watching for two things. Now that the Mooseheads, they've had one more power play than Quebec, they're going to have to stay very disciplined because the ref's probably going to look to even that up. Secondly, it'll be interesting to see how aggressive now the Quebec Remparts are going to be, because now they're down by 2. Usually they've been sitting back, usually sitting 5 behind the red line. So it'll be interesting now to see what the Mooseheads can expose, and then at the same time to see how aggressive Quebec's going to be in this last 17 minutes of the third period of Game 7.
Keith Gatson waved into the face-off circle there, and McLeod will come in to replace him. Coxhead winning that one as Ferret will play it up the left wing boards. Turnover. Ben Higgins on it now, accelerates down the left wing side, tries to fight off Lacombe. McLeod now back to the point. Flower over here for McIsaac. A shot, a tip in front, and Pagliarulo making the save. And again, he'll have to cover it up. The Mooseheads buzzing right now down on that Rempart end.
Yeah, and that's a great shift. You put your Higgins out. He's out there with Brock McLeod. Those two guys haven't played a whole bunch. And Mr. Consistency, Keith Getson centering that line. Great job by them. And listen, I don't think the Mooseheads will want to sit on the lead, but they're not going to take a whole lot of chances. But hey, what's the best way to protect the lead? You play in the offensive zone. So great job by that line, and the big line's back out now.
Samuel Asselin out to square off against Kutkevicius. We talked about him back during the first period. Kutkevicius has been dynamite here in the face-off circle for Quebec in this series. The former Windsor Spitfire, just about 60% on draws. He's been real good for the Remparts.
Yeah, and he's always over the boards when they need a big face-off win. But again, I'm looking at the Quebec Remparts bench. There isn't a whole lot of life. A lot of people are sitting down. And again, who is going to be the guy that's going to give them the juice that we've been talking about? Who is it going to be for the Remparts?
Kutkevicius winning that face-off is done. We'll send it up the left wing side. Montre chopping it out through center. Trepanier back for Cheney. And the Mooseheads end up ahead now for Durando. That's dumped in. Savoie heads after it. Kind of got tangled up there down in the corner with Samuel Asselin. And now Asselin getting knocked over by Donis. It's carried out by Saint Laurent up toward his own blue line, but kind of lost the handle on that one. He's forced to circle back. Now a long pass. That one skipping over the stick of Kutkevicius. Couldn't quite get the handle on that one. He'll protest it with the linesman, but an icing call right there. And an offensive zone draw coming up now for the Mooseheads with 16:05 left here in period number 3. The Mooseheads on top 3-1.
Yeah, and again, Quebec, they're going to have to find an answer here because now they're playing desperate hockey. Now their backs are against the wall. They're going to need to start taking chances, which they really haven't done all series long. And so it'll be interesting to see how they're going to react moving forward.
Bishop's going to square off against Katkavicius now, and another win for Luke Katkavicius as Lacombe tries to drop that one off. Ostap and throwing on the brakes. He'll play it over for Patty Cut. It's bumped off the end board. Saffin on it over there on the right side. Little bump there on Dubé as Barron lets it rip from that right point. Pagliarulo making a save on that one. The Mooseheads continuing to buzz as lets one go. Kicked aside there by Pagliarulo. Xavier Perron now jamming on the brakes, and he gets tripped up by Kurashev. The fans here wanting to call. They're not going to get it as it's worked back to the line here for Walter Flower. He'll let one go off the end boards. Aslan whacks at it. It's in. They score. Samuel Aslan celebrated. He saw it in the back of the net. The officials will converge over there at the Quebec Remparts net. Samuel Aslan celebrating as if that one had crossed the line. No surprise here. Yeah. Jesse, we're going to go upstairs and take another look at that.
Big surprise. Every time a puck seems to go across the line, we might as well just say, oh, and it's under review. That's right. But the Mooseheads have done an excellent job. Quebec has had a very tough time now for the last few minutes of just getting out of their zone. And the question is now, it looked like Aslan turned and fired that one at the net. And Pagliarulo, it looked like it was in between his feet and the back, and his skates are in his net, but it's going to be very, very difficult, I think, to overwrite this one. The original call on the ice was no goal, but the ref immediately said they were going to go upstairs and look at it. Again, a nice play by Aslan, jumping on that one, throwing it at the feet of Pagliarulo, and a good job by him. He throws his hands in the air, and I don't think you can see the puck across the line. It'll be a little bit tough, I think, to overrule this one. But regardless of the outcome of this call, the Mooseheads have done an excellent job at ragging that puck in the offensive zone. They're being very responsible, but they're not sitting back. They're staying aggressive, and Quebec, they're going to need to find an answer.
And no goal. That is waved off right there. So, as you were saying, tough one to overturn us. We take a quick break. You're listening to News 95.7. Let's hope this works. Off this face-off, the Quebec Remparts clearing that one all the way back down into the Mooseheads end. So an icing here with 14:49 to play in the third period. Mooseheads on top, 3-1. Keith Getson with a mammoth goal for Halifax in the early stages of this final frame.
Yeah, in Quebec, they're not. The Mooseheads aren't sitting back at all. They want to keep pouring it on the Remparts. The Remparts haven't seemed to get out of their zone in the last few minutes here. They've iced the puck a number of times. This isn't how you want to start chipping away at a lead if you're the Remparts. So let's see how Patrick Waugh, he'll probably be tinkering with his lines, maybe be looking for some different things. But again, not the best period so far for the Remparts with their backs against the wall, down by 2 here.
Hey, we're on. And the Mooseheads dumping one in here. Chris, you can hear us? Jared McIsaac back at the left point. Yeah, welcome back. You're listening to Dartmouth Dodge Mooseheads Hockey on News 95.7. Apologize here for some of the technical issues we're having. Fans wanting to call now on the Remparts. McIsaac lets a shot go from the left point. That was wide of the net off the end boards. Durando now back to the point here for Walter Flower. He's going to send it back down behind that Quebec net. Matthew Grouchy after it. He's knocked over by Durando. Trepanier in there buzzing around as well right now for the Mooseheads. As it's played back to the point here for McIsaac. He'll let a shot go, bouncing puck. That'll just deflect wide. And Samuel Asselin over now for McIsaac. McIsaac lets a shot go, stopped by Pagliarulo. And Arno Durando tangled up down behind the play with Sam Dunn. And back the other way, the Rempart come as they get a great opportunity. Coxet denied by Alex Gravel. As Arno Durando was just a thorn in the side of the Quebec Rempart during that entire shift. He had them in fits back in their own end. Barrett will center. Nobody home for Quebec. Picked up now by Antoine Morand. Morand off the boards coming down that left side. Takes a couple of whacks there from Lacombe as it's sent up the left wing. Morand will break it up here for Halifax. He rolls off a Kurashev, banks it off the boards back into the Quebec end. The Remparts sending it right back out. Jonathan Cheney cross ice was looking for Kite. Patty Kite getting tripped up right there as Dubé and Kurashev get tied up down in the corner. Kurashev with a hold on Cheney, it looked like, and now Jonathan Cheney back after it. He takes a hit there from Dubé as this one pops out for Joel Bishop. Back down toward the corner now for Jonathan Cheney. And the Mooseheads trying to play this one out. Bishop after it, and Joel Bishop just finishing his check there on Kurashev. Kurashev came in to check Joel Bishop, but certainly got the worst of that one.
Well, the Mooseheads will just have to make sure they keep their discipline because the emotions are getting high now as we see Joel Bishop. No surprise here, he's right in the Quebec bench. Great job by him, but you got to keep that discipline, and that goes all the way down to a few minutes ago, and Durando was absolutely causing havoc down in that zone. And hey, this is what you want. Get Quebec off the game. They need to come to you. Just keep playing your game, keep doing your thing. Good job.
Well, a big lead here for the Mooseheads in Game 7. They're on top 3-1, out shooting Quebec 29-20. We'll take a quick break live from the Scotiabank Center. Game 7, winner moves on. You're listening to Dartmouth Dodge Mooseheads Hockey on News 95.7. All right, so we're back now. Everything's good. Is it not glitching out? I don't know. Yeah, I know, man. It's the same thing happened last night. It's pretty frustrating. I don't know. We have to get Rodney in there just to take a look at this board, though, because this, yeah, we can't have this continue to happen.
We're gonna need a police escort out here. This keeps happening.
It doesn't happen on the road, right? So it's the board. It's this end. Yeah, welcome back. You're listening to Dartmouth Dodge Mooseheads Hockey on News 95.7. Gareth McDonald, Jesse Lucier back with you here live from the Scotiabank Center here in Game 7. The Mooseheads leading the Quebec Remparts 3-1. Quebec winning this face-off. They're going to dump one in. Gravel trying to come out to play that one. It was steered up the boards. It's a good physical play down there from Joel Bishop right back out here for the Mooseheads again, throwing his weight around. Rempart letting a shot go. Gravel steers that one aside. Perron heading after it. He'll swing it rink wide there. Was looking for Sappin. Now a turnover. Bishop skating it in down the right side. Absorbs a hit from Chouinard. Good work now for this Mooseheads third line. Now Bishop toward the front of the net, leaves it for Sappin, whacked at it, rolls just wide. Perron, he's going to knock it over here for Sappin. Osap Sappin down in the corner. He'll try to fight off Chouinard, lost an edge, went down. And Laframboise now battling with Asselin as that one is flipped up the left wing boards and out through center ice. Flower spinning, partnering it over now for Jonathan Cheney. Cheney up ahead. He's got the red line. He'll dump that one in. Asselin heading after it. Samuel Asselin pulling up down there in the corner. Pinned along the boards by Chouinard. Kakavicius will dig that puck loose. He comes away with it now. Sends it up the left side, but Nice little effort there by Antoine Morin, who tried to slow down his progress. Gravel out to play it, bumps it over toward the left wing corner for Jockton Cheney. The Remparts back toward the point, and Savoie unable to keep that one in with 9 minutes gone here in the third period. Mooseheads on top, 3-1. Got a big goal just 52 seconds into this final frame from Keith Getz in his third of the playoffs, as Savoie will skate it in over the blue line, dropped it off there for Kutkevicius. Now Luke Kutkevicius reaching for it, sends it down low for Grouchy. Matthew Grouchy protecting the puck, skates it toward the high slot, and then swings it over to an open corner. Morad heading after that one, gets it in to help out, but it's going to be Coxhead coming away with it. He'll knock it over now for Grouchy, and Grouchy going down in the corner, and they're going to get a power play coming up, and Antoine Morin cannot believe that. He's got his hands on his helmet there, and Justin Barron will head off now. And this place, when they get a look at this replay, this could be interesting.
Well, you knew it was coming. You know, the Mooseheads, they have an advantage of 1 right now on the power play, and it was only a matter of time. I mean, a pretty soft call at this stage, but like I said, you knew it was coming. You knew that in Game 7, both teams were going to get the same amount of power plays. It was only a matter of time, but the Mooseheads have done a great job so far protecting this lead. They've had plenty of offensive zone time. They had a great kill earlier on, and they need another kill now to protect this lead and get back to how they've been playing since essentially the beginning of the second period.
Andrew Coxhead's going to win this face-off, pulls it back there for Dunn. Over now for Verrett, stepping in, lets his shot go. It's off a body, gets it, hustling after that one, and some great work there from Keith Getz, who's already got a big goal here in the third. Big setup on the game's second goal for the Mooseheads, and what an effort right there.
Yeah, and that's all off the block of Jared McIsaac and Keith Getz. We've been talking about him all night. Great job by him to get the puck down the ice.
Kurashev down toward the corner. He'll slow things down, tries to open up a lane for Grouchy. Back now for Verrett. Verrett skating it down the left side, dishes off to Dunn, pinching in, a swept toward the net there by Coxhead, and Gravel making the stop, but the Mooseheads can't get it past Kurashev. Dunn now rims it around the boards back here for Verrett. Etienne Verrett banking it off the boards, back to the point for Grouchy, over to Dunn. He's going to give it right back to Grouchy, to Kurashev. That's whistled wide. And the Mooseheads trying to dig this one free, and that's cleared the length of the ice by Ben Higgins. A big play right there with 55 seconds left on that tripping penalty for the Mooseheads' Justin Barron.
Well, a little bit of a surprise on this power play. They got Phil Kurashev standing in the middle and some good movement there. And what isn't surprising is that he was a trigger guy, and when he shot that puck, Ravel didn't see any of it. It just went over the net.
Kurashev's going to send this one around the boards now for Grouchy. Back up top for Saint Laurent. He lets his shot go. That'll bounce wide. Dubé heading after it. Getting roughed up down there in the corner by Jockton Cheney. Cheney all over Dubé. Played back down to the right point for Lacombe. Over here for Kurashev. He'll snap a shot. That is stopped by Gravel, and Alex Gravel will hold on to it. 21 seconds left on this Mooseheads penalty. 8:44 remaining here in the third period. Halifax on top, 3-1.
Well, so far, the job well done for the Mooseheads, keeping Quebec to the outside. Just that one opportunity to Kurashev in the middle, and he sails that one over the net. But no surprise here that he's staying on the power play. He usually plays all 2 minutes. He's been their top guy all season long. Look for them to be looking to get him the puck.
Getson squaring off now against Kutkevicius. Getson sweeps that one rink wide. Dubé hard after it, but he's got McIsaac all over him right there. Great play by Jarrett McIsaac, and he'll clear that one out. Just 8 seconds left now on this Quebec power play.
Yeah, you said it. Great job. It's a great skating ability of Jarrett McIsaac, quickly closing in on that. Not a whole lot of room there, and he fires that one down the ice.
Kurashev walks in, snaps a shot right there. Hammered that one. It was kicked out by Gravel as Kurashev just let it go from inside the blue line. Savoie keeping it alive now at the left point. He'll send it toward the net. That deflects wide. Laframboise down there after it. Back to the point now for Chouinard. He tried to bump it over toward the slot. Back to even strength hockey here with 8 minutes to go. 5 aside. Penalty over. Getson reaching for it. So we've kind of got his stick caught up in the legs of Savoie. Barron has it back in his own end. He'll play it on the right side here for Jockton Cheney. Flipped out through center. Moran trying to knock that one down. Dickner finding it. He'll play it back now for Chouinard to pass up the middle. That missed Laframboise. And the Mooseheads clearing this one back down into Rempart territory. Patrick Chance starting again here at the Scotiabank Center. Lavoie will rim it around the board. Savoie heading after it. Now Asselin all over him, and Samuel Asselin trying to knock it loose down there. That puck still kind of frozen as Asselin tries to work it free. Shoveled up the boards now, and reaching for it there was Walter Flower, but Dickner corralling it. He'll send it down behind the Mooseheads net. Frateroli taking a hit down low for McIsaac. Frateroli rolling it down behind the Mooseheads net as McIsaac picks it up here for Halifax. He'll take his time back there behind Alex Gravel. Just 6:55 to play here in this third period. A 2-goal lead for the Mooseheads. Quick pass up now for Ostap Sappin. Busting and driving toward the net. A shot and a big blocker stop right there by Pagliarulo. What a rush from Ostap Sappin. But Grouchy now coming back for a goal back toward the net. What a save from Alex Gravel. Are you kidding me? Wow, what a stop. Alex Gravel shutting the door not once, but twice on that play to preserve his team's 2-goal lead. Some extraordinary net minding right there.
Yeah, what a save by Gravel. He was excellent early in this game, and that is a huge save. 2 in a row. Grouchy, who's been awesome all series long, comes in with full speed, backdoor to St. Laurent, tries to tuck it in. Gravel tracks it, slides across, makes the save, and sticks with it and covers up the rebound. What a save that was.
Well, the Mooseheads with a great opportunity at the other end, and Grouchy right back the other way. And now a opportunity there almost for Grouchy right off that face-off as he was looking for it. Puck's going to end up down in the corner now. McIsaac trying to knock this one loose. Cheney in there as well, trying to sweep it off the stick of St. Laurent with 6:17 to play here in the third period. Grouchy after it. He'll try to whack it back toward the line for Coxhead. Coxhead pressured. Now McIsaac knocks this one down. He'll flip it up the boards looking for Trapanier, but Coxhead tracking back. Breaks that one up, and now he's going to turn it over to McIsaac. McIsaac up ahead here for Max Trapanier, making his way down the right side, throws on the brakes, tries to center right there, and that one deflecting up into the protective netting down behind the Quebec net. 5:53 to go here in the third period of Game 7. The Mooseheads on top, 3-1 goals tonight for Max Trapanier, Jockton Cheney, and Keith Getson. Still lots of time left in this one. We'll take a quick break. You're listening to Dartmouth Dodge Mooseheads Hockey on News 95.7. Welcome back. You're listening to Dartmouth Dodge Mooseheads Hockey on News 95.7. Gareth McDonald, former Moosehead Jesse Lucier, back with you here live from the Scotiabank Center, where the Mooseheads lead the Remparts 3-1. 5:53 to play here in the third period.
Yeah, now Quebec's starting to show signs of life, and it's out of desperation. They've worked hard all season long. They've had a great series. They don't want to go away quietly. Good job by them.
Antoine Moran, a shot right off that face-off. Lavoie's going to find that loose puck. Asselin with it now. Plays it back toward the right point for Barron. Back down low. Asselin with it down in the corner, trying to step out with it. Protects it. Again, back down low for Lavoie. The Mooseheads look to work on their cycle game here, but the Remparts break it up. Kukevich's pass out through center. It's off the stick of Asselin. Barrett will clear it up and onto the Mooseheads bench. So we got a whistle here and a stoppage with 5:27 to play in this third period. Halifax with a 2-goal lead, hoping to hang on here in advance to round 2.
Well, look for Halifax to continue that perimeter play in the offensive zone. They love that cycle from the corner. They'll rim it all the way around to their weak side defenseman, and he'll put it back into the corner. Look for them to continue that.
Shots are 31-26 in favor of the Mooseheads. Out to center ice, and now it's going to be dumped in by Bishop. Saffin heading after it. Ostap Saffin battling down in that corner. He'll get a little bit of help from Perron, but it's chipped up the boards. Dickner headmanning it now for Frateroli. He'll make his way down the left wing side, rolls it down behind the Mooseheads net. McIsaac after it. He'll flip it up the left side. Now it's knocked out through center, knocked down by Lacombe. Partnered over to Dunn, and Lacombe heads off in a line change. Etienne Barrette back out here. Certainly expect to see a whole lot of Etienne Barrette and Sam Dunn in the final minutes of this one. As Dunn will skate it out now for the Remparts, making his way down the right side. Drops it off for Saint Laurent. He'll swing it toward the slot. Now it's played back to the point, and Barrette unable to hold the line right there for Quebec. Durando with some pressure. Now he's going to force Barrette back into his own end. Etienne Barrette now up the left wing for Andrew Coxette. Worked up now for Grouchy. Dishes off to Dunn. Dunn jumping up into the play, but couldn't find the handle on that one. He'll find the handle on that pass, though, as he dished it off for Coxette. Coxette didn't quite corral it. Now it's knocked out front, loose puck. Durando after it here for the Mooseheads. He's going to chip this one back toward the Quebec blue line. Barrette quickly playing it back up, and right under the stick there at Durando at center, and he'll dump it in as the Mooseheads get a line change in with just 4 minutes remaining here in the third period. Halifax on top, 3-1.
Some very short shifts right now for both teams. They want especially Coach Veilleux, he's limiting his ice time right now for his guys big time.
Patty Kite playing it over there up the right side, was looking for Justin Barron, got past him. Now it's played back down toward that corner. Barron now will bump it over for Kite as the Mooseheads look to break out. Patty Kite flipping one. He'll roll one back into Rempart territory. Savoie's got Morand all over him. Some pressure down low there from Asselin. It's shipped out through center. Kite on it now for the Mooseheads. And knocked up ahead. There's a turnover. The Remparts not able to get much going right there as Kakavich just looked to have overskated that one. Loose puck down there in the corner. Morand after it here for the Mooseheads. Over now for Kurashev, stepping out, and a great block from Patty Kite. Dropping down right there as Kurashev finds it again. That net empty, and there's a shot from Kurashev. A stop from Gravel. He'll hang on to it with 3:06 to play here in the third period. The Mooseheads on top, 3-1. And that Quebec Rempart net is empty. Carmen Anthony Pagliarulo on the bench in favor of the extra attacker. And when do you think we see a timeout here?
Yeah, I was just thinking that as well. But it's always interesting to see what you do on the defending team when you have one less guy, when 6-on-5. Usually what they'll do is sometimes you'll send both defensemen and you'll just chase around the puck, but you need to make sure you always have someone protecting the house, protecting the front of the net. Because Quebec, they're going to try to throw everything they can at that front of the net.
Mooseheads win the face-off. Up ahead now, chipped out by Bishop. Higgins after it. Net is empty. Shot just wide. And Ben Higgins still tied up back behind the play as Grouchy will skate it back now for the Rempart. Makes his way, and he'll get past Bishop. Flower reaching at him. Little bump there from Bishop, trying to knock Grouchy over. Over from Montre. Centering pass. Loose puck. It's off the side of the net. Savoie spinning. Now back to toward the point here for Savoie. Broken up. Ben Higgins with the net empty. Trying to feed it up ahead now for Bishop. And Dunn on it first back in that Quebec net. Joel Bishop reaching for it, and he'll have to be careful right there. Looked like Dunn was trying to draw one, but Bishop almost getting himself in some trouble now as Asselin tries to throw on the brakes down there in the corner. Lavoie spins. He's already got 3 empty net goals in this series. And that shot was off a leg as Left Ramboise will dump it deep right now. Just 2:08 remaining. Morand is going to spin and send that one all the way back down into the Quebec end. And that one with just enough gas to get over the goal line. So an icy call right here with 2:02 to play in the third period. A long shift for some of the top players in the Quebec Remparts in that last sequence, Jesse. You got to imagine we'll see a timeout right now.
Yeah, no change here, and it'll be interesting to see. And I don't think they're going to call it, and a bit interesting there. But you know what? Sometimes it's not a bad thing not to take that timeout. You don't allow the other team to set up a play, draw something up. Listen, your guys are playing hard, and now it's all come down to a big face-off win. You know that Halifax, they got their best face-off guy out there. Quebec with Kutkevicius, he's got the best face-off. And everything they can, they're going to be throwing at the net right now.
So face-off to Gravel's left, bouncing puck off the draw. Asselin driving forward with it, and he'll chip it down toward that Rempart corner. After it is Verrett, and again, Another icing here on the Mooseheads with 1:54 to play in the third period. A 3-1 hockey game. Halifax on top, looking to seal the deal and move on to round 2.
And again, you can see Coach Veilleux, he's telling his guys what he's looking for, what he wants and what he doesn't want. A lot of coaching going on right now on the ice.
Samuel Asselin winning this face-off. Justin Barron's going to rim it around the boards. It gets past Lacombe, and that'll roll all the way back down to the Quebec end. Look at Antoine Morin fly in there. He's all over Lacombe. It's sent up ahead on the left side. Now Kakevich is angled off right there, and the Mooseheads will flip this one out. A rolling puck. It's just wide of the empty net, and with 93 seconds remaining here in the third period of Game 7, and the Mooseheads up 3-1. We'll head back down into the Halifax end for a draw.
And still the same line on the ice for the Mooseheads. They didn't change last time up the ice, but it's Sam Asselin, who had 3 huge face-off wins, all to Gravel's left, will now take this face-off to Gravel's right, and it's not Kakevich is taking, it's Andrew Coxhead taking the face-off.
So Coxhead lines up here against Asselin. Asselin winning that one. Justin Barron's going to rim it up the boards, and Moran can't chip that one out. Kurashev keeping it alive. He'll let a shot go block in front there from Kite, and Coxhead sweeping at it. Couldn't find the handle on it as that one rolled past the Mooseheads net down in the corner. Asselin trying to freeze it there. It's knocked away from him. Now a play, or a puck coming up the boards there on the right side. Now it's forced back behind the net. The Mooseheads will look to clear it out. Here is Lavoie. Sends it out through center ice. Andrew Coxhead back toward his own blue line. He'll drop it off now for Savoie. 1 minute to play here in the third period of Game 7 as Dubé steers it down toward the net. McIsaac now trying to flip it out. It's going to roll back toward the Quebec blue line. Etienne Barrette back on it back there. He'll send it up the left side as the crowd here at the Scotiabank Center, they can taste round 2. They're on their feet. They are loving this. The Remparts dumping it in. McIsaac after it here for the Mooseheads. He'll play it down behind the net for Jockton Cheney. He's pressured. Coxhead spins. Lacombe can't keep it in at the point. And the fans again into this. They can taste victory here tonight. Jockton Cheney's going to flip this one out. It's gloved down by Etienne Barrette. Barrette letting a shot go. That'll deflect wide. Now a pass toward the front of the net. Bouncing puck. It goes just wide. McIsaac taking a shove right there as Bishop will hit Etienne Barrette, and that'll do it. The Mooseheads take it 3-1, and buckle up, Moose Country. We're going to round 2. What a win here tonight, Jesse. Mooseheads coming back to Halifax, down 3-2 in this series. A massive win last night. And how fired up are these guys right now? What a scene here at the Scotiabank Center.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. Your back's against the wall, back-to-back nights. You go down 2-0 in a series. You lose the first 2 at home, being the top seed, all the pressure. The Memorial Cup hosts. You go to Quebec. You come back home down 3-2 to a team that you should beat, and then you get the job done. And look at the team. You know what? This might be the best thing for this team moving forward. Well done, overcoming that adversity. They did everything right in the last 2 games, these last 48 hours. A heck of a job, but hey, listen. Yeah, it goes without saying, what a job by the Quebec Remparts. They did everything they could. They put the Mooseheads right to the very last shift, the top team in the conference, and they took them right to Game 7. Patrick Waugh and the Quebec Remparts, they deserve a lot of credit. The entire team, they played an exceptionally disciplined game all series long. This is a great series, a great job by the Mooseheads to come back, but a very, very good job done by the Quebec Remparts. And this series could have went either way with the way they played. Great job to both teams for a heck of a playoff series. But again, the Quebec Remparts, Patrick Waugh, congratulations on just an incredible season. You know, you come in as the 8th seed, and you're playing a very strong Mooseheads team. You come in the first 2 on, I mean, well done for both of these teams. What a game we had here tonight. Game 7, baby. That's what it's all about.
Unbelievable win here tonight at the Scotiabank Center. Lots of guys on this Mooseheads team stepping up here tonight. Talked a lot about Keith Getson here tonight, and why not? All over the ice for the Mooseheads. What an effort on that first goal. Terrific on the penalty kill here tonight. I should say, what an effort on that second goal. Jonathan Cheney's goal that proved to be the game winner here this evening. Terrific goal in the early stages of the third period as well, and just all over the ice for Halifax. Their best penalty killer. Just terrific effort from Keith Getson.
Oh, for sure. He was in both games too. I mean, there's a reason why Cam Russell wanted this guy, and there's a reason why he picked him up, and it's for these last 2 games. He was dynamite in Game 6, and he was dynamite again in Game 7, and what a terrific effort it was. You have a goal and an assist tonight. A terrific effort by him, and on that goal is just a sheer testament to his will, his character, and what a job done. But hey, listen to this crowd. You know what? The Moose Country knows that it's playoff time, baby. And hey, listen, did this series go according to plan? Probably not, but guess what? You're moving on to round 2, and the city is buzzed. Listen to this building. Well done. It goes without being said, too, that for the 20-year-olds on Quebec, Sam Dunn, who had just an incredible series. I thought he was one of the best players in the series, just a force on the back end. This will be the last time that they ever skate off the ice as a junior hockey player. Congratulations to them, and a job very, very well done. The leaders of that team, without a doubt. This team would not have went to Game 7 if it wasn't for those 20-year-olds. So, you know, as a former 20 myself, it is a very special night. It's an emotional night, but congratulations to those guys. Hold your heads high. You guys were absolute warriors in this series. Very, very good. Congratulations to you on a job well done and a great career. All the best to you guys, and whatever it is you decide to do moving forward. You know, if it is university, hopefully I don't see too much of you, and, or if it's pro hockey, whatever it is, congratulations to those guys on a career and a series as well.
Well, the overager season with the Mooseheads has been extended. They will move on to round 2. Big part of their success here tonight. We talked about a guy like Getson, several guys stepping up. What a performance as well in goal from Alex Gravel here tonight. Jesse, you talked a lot about it last night in these elimination games, how key your goaltender is. That it does go without saying, but Alex Gravel, he's taken a little bit of abuse at times in this opening round series. There have been some doubters out there. He's had to listen to a little bit of criticism. Patrick Roy, the Quebec City media, trying to pick at Gravel and his performance, his play during this opening round series. But what an effort from him. What a story he was here in this deciding game of this best of 7 series.
Well, in playoff hockey, you live and die with your goaltender, and you know what? Alex Gravel might have been their best player tonight, especially early on in that period where the Mooseheads, they weren't handling the puck very well, a couple big turnovers, and he was sharp when he needed to be. He made the saves that he needed to do, and he put his doubters to bed tonight. There's a big reason why they're moving on to round 2, and Alex Gravel is one of them.
So 3-1 our final tonight. The Mooseheads will move on to round 2 of the 2019 President's Cup playoffs. Who they will be facing still up in the air. We know it will be a team from the Maritimes division. Some big cheers here for Alex Gravel this evening. Boy, does he look fired up right now. Big smile on his face as he comes out. And he's named the first star in the game here, second star, pardon me, in the game here tonight. And And I was right, Jess. You gave me the two. That was Alex Gravel, the star of the game here tonight. As we said, just solid in goal. And that announcement right on cue here as we give the Mooseheads netminder some praise. Again, the big question right now, who will Halifax face in round two? We'll talk about that. We'll take a look at it coming up on the post-game show. The Eastside Mario's post-game show is next. Thanks so much for joining us here tonight. Thanks so much for joining us for round one of the Q League playoffs. We can't wait for round two. You've been listening to Dartmouth Dodge Mooseheads Hockey on News 95.7.